Okay, I think we're live. Hello, everybody. Live from my house. We got Joey and RP in today. And how's my sound? Sound seems low. I can check that real quick. Sound. I changed a setting. Okay, I think we're live. Hello. Okay, that sounds pretty good. And it's the end of the Mgtowers summer. How's you guys' summer been? We just kind of taking it easy and everything, and Joey's got a new girlfriend, and Rick.
I'm dating Juliette Lewis. We're gonna be a power couple.
A power couple? Are you gonna be influencers?
Yeah, we're eyeing the White House in about when's the next election? 2028. So.
2024, 2020, yeah,
2024. Yeah. So not the next one, the one after that. So 2028, Juliette Lewis and I are going to be running for.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. How's everything been with you, Rick?
Yeah, nothing much. I've just been working.
Working, cool. Working. Yeah, that's most of the thing. That's what we all do most of the time, and. It's been an interesting summer. I've been keeping up with that Gabby Petito thing, and it just seems very weird. The whole thing seems weird. You know, her boyfriend disappears now. You know what I think happened? I think she ran off on him, but we'll see how that goes.
I think she was just acting like a woman, and he got tired of it.
Yeah, she ran off because there was one video. He was out looking for her, and like she had ran off. It was like 2 days or something, and I think she just played a woman on him. She ran off with someone else and got herself killed. And then when he figured that out, he just took the van, went home, and disappeared. I mean, that seems more logical to me.
But like even so, did you see the police body cam video? Because they were stopped earlier.
Yeah, she was the abuser in that. His face was scratched up.
Exactly.
She admitted to him, but the police did not do their job and arrest her and put her on a hold. If they would have did that, nothing would have happened after that.
Yes.
If the police would have did their job and then charged her with domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
And
but instead, what happened?
Instead, they let her go, and then she continued abusing him. And then he was out. I seen the one video. They don't play that on because they want to make it look like he was the aggressor in that. She was clearly the aggressor, and in that relationship. And the people said one YouTube couple said they picked him up. He was out looking for her. So what does that tell you? That she ran off with somebody else. And she was OCD, mentally unstable, and there were problems. And then whatever happened after that, I'm sure that he can't explain to people because people want to believe that it's the male aggressor.
Mm-hmm. He would have been accused.
He would have been, yeah, he would have been accused. No matter how it plays out, it's like the butler did it. He was the closest thing, and no matter what logic prevails after that, he was out looking for her. Why was he out looking for her? Because she ran off with somebody else, and that's what makes sense to me. But hey, they'll come up with all kinds of stories, and we'll see how it ends. But I'm sure there's a lot behind that.
Yeah, because the funny thing about that whole story is that. It wasn't the police or the FBI who found a body or
Yeah,
or anything. It was actually just some random YouTubers like make their own videos,
yeah,
and they just happened to come across the vehicle, and they reported it, and not far away, they found the body.
yeah. It's like in a tent or something. I'm not sure how that. We'll probably get all the details later on, but there just seems to be, and the whole thing's just filled with the gynocentric bias.
Hmm. And actually, like one thing that like is burning in the back of my mind is like, why is the media covering so much?
Yeah, why is the media so fascinated with
Sorry,
this?
didn't mean to laugh.
Because it's a pretty white girl. And as soon as what's that one lady, the American news lady that does all the stories like that? It's just that's perfect for her, and it encompassed the whole United States, and she had model good looks, and she wanted to be a YouTube star, juice nutritionist, which is like being a DJ.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was crazy. She probably would have done very well at it too, just based on, what I say, the average YouTuber, if not the average YouTuber, if not censored, will have 30,000 hits, and if that goes up, it's a sort of like Bayesian logic. If you want a prediction of that, it goes up with good looks, female. You'll get simps and all sorts of people falling over or trying out her juice products because they're going to make them healthy. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
It says here September 18, they had roughly 50 law enforcement officers from 5 local agencies and the FBI searching for laundry. And the boyfriend, I guess.
Yeah.
Now imagine if it was the other way around, genders were reversed.
Yeah. No one would be looking for her. They'd be like trying to
Yeah.
like she's probably like hiding because he was an abuser. But
And the
clearly
thing is,
in that case,
it's like why did they have the fiance? They let him go, and then now they can't find him now.
yeah,
It doesn't make sense.
at that time there was no reason to believe that there was anything wrong, but I still think there's going to be a twist in this. I'm not sure what the twist is going to be, or if he's even going to get a fair trial, or it's how can you say you're going to get 12 people that don't know about this?
Yeah, he's not going to get a fair trial.
He's not going to get a fair trial. It's going to be a gynocentrically driven trial. He was supposed to protect her, and he either he did it or he failed at protecting him. Equally, they carry the same weight of justice.
Yeah.
Well, we lost our friend Vention this week, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was sad to watch him go that way. Nobody deserves to die in such a manner, painfully. But he was a MGTOW and a MGTOW from the beginning, and he was around and he did his part and his own way too. He MGTOW'd.
Yes, the MGTOW.
He MGTOW'd.
Hey, MGTOWs.
Hey, MGTOWs. That was a pretty good mention. Hey, MGTOWs.
Buy Bitcoin and get married.
One thing I appreciated about him is like even right to the end, he was still positive.
He was still positive about.
He was still giving out advice. He still speaks to the men that listen to him.
Right. He was trying to give them a positive message and figure out and show people how it worked and how things were going to work. And he was trying, as little as he had at that point, he was trying to really just kind of still, be a good friend to us and, show us how this thing was going to work. And that's a really great thing. And it tells volumes about the MGTOW spirit and the MGTOW, what it does for you and how it helps you through situations. And I think we lost Joey there. Hello, Black Wolf.
Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe we should add Black Wolf too, because he has. Okay, I don't know if it's okay. You know, what I'm going to say it anyways. He had someone close to him um leave this earth as well.
Oh, okay. If he wants to come on, do you know where to send a link to?
Yeah, I can send him.
Yeah, you copy that link that I sent you and send it over. I don't know if I have them where I have them at now. It's been such a while. It's been a while since I did a video, and summer was a little bit trying and a little bit, things have changed around here slightly and a lot, really.
Mm-hmm.
Riding the bike, or
Yeah, my battery blew up and started on fire.
Okay, that's not good.
That's not good. Yeah, the 30,000 one I bought, which is a really expensive battery, and I found moisture inside of the battery when I took it apart. So I'm trying to save the cells and build a new one. I got to get some new cells, and then I bought a new battery, which is just a 10 HA. So it kind of runs out of power when I need it. And I guess we could expect that sort of thing. I was sadly disappointed because when I ripped all the plastic covering off of it and everything to get to the battery core to see what happened, the unit was fried. It was totally fried. It had burnt all through it, and there was moisture. And I couldn't understand how moisture got in there.
Yeah.
It takes a month to get a new one from China.
Oh, from him.
China.
wow, because they're having trouble with those processing chips, huh? I heard.
Yeah, they're what I understand about there was what it looked like is there's the chargers. There's like the 9 wires and it regulates the charger. I can't remember what you call it. I have one around, or I bought a new one for it, but we'll see. We'll see how it works. I bought a little tech welder too, and I took a course last month in how to build batteries. That might come out handy. One of these, probably sometime over the winter, I'm going to invest in a large shipment of 18, what is it, 18065 batteries. And then I'm going to see if I could sell batteries and put them together and kind of figure out a better way to do this. I was looking to make little 12-volt units that you can hook together, and then you can go 12, 24, 36, or 48, and then you can buy them at your own pleasure. And if you lose a core, it'll be cheaper to replace the battery.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so I got.
It's a good business model.
Yeah, it's a good business model, and I've been trying to dig up all the parts that I need. I think I'm going to have you need 3 leads to hook them together, and there's not quite anything that they have where you just click them together, and I have to find something I can do that with.
Mm-hmm.
Indian Joe.
Because in order to do that, it's like you have to get some bigger manufacturers to help you to get like a standardized connection.
Right.
Otherwise, like you're gonna have to actually like manually build each connection all the time for every single unit.
Right. It would be nice if I could find some connectors that would work, but they're pretty hefty. You know, when you start getting on the last one, if you start talking about 48 volts, that's a lot of voltage.
Mm-hmm.
And I need something that's going to be efficient and work. And hey, MGTOW Cowboy, Indian Joe, Jigsaw. So it's a little mind work too. You have to do it right because it's unsafe. Like I said, mine started on fire, and if you don't do it right, it's nothing new at this point. I think batteries are the next big thing, and we're going to need them for cars. A lot more people are going to start driving electric bikes and electric scooters and everything. So I just have an idea where I could make this thing easier for people like myself, that if you lose a core, you don't have to wait a month for a new battery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense because like actually, myself and Jewel Lewis for Conquerors, yeah, we're saying is like um, if I had somebody in the neighborhood where it's like they could fix bikes, and especially like the e-bikes
Yeah.
now, like I see a lot of people with the e-bikes. It's like I really want to get one, and I want to keep my bike, but I want to get the e-bike features onto it.
Right. You can hook up. I can go step by step with you and show you how to hook everything up, and you can. I can send you the spokes, and we can cut costs for you by at least $600-700 if you follow my method of building them. Give
Sounds
you.
like a good idea.
And if what I usually do is I'll order the motor, and I'll order a rim for it, and then we take the ERD on it, and we figure out the spoke sizes. So then I cut the spokes, and then I order a kit and a battery, and put them on. And once you're there, Yeah, you can get under. If you got on a bike already, you can do the whole thing yourself and have a pretty darn good bike comparable to any e-bike that you're going to buy out there for over $2,000 for under $600. 600. You just got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, it sounds fair enough.
And I use a company that I use a single company. The big thing is using a single company where all their wiring matches. Because it's so complex once you get outside of that. And once you got that down, you're like, oh shit, this is easy. And as long as you order from that company, spare parts and whatever you need, it's easy and it's cheap.
Yeah, because like there's no need for me to do anything right now because winter is coming. But that's something that by springtime comes, like I would like to get
in the winter is
get that
great. I mean, do you have
done.
knobby?
Yes, I do. But like, at the same time, it's like it's also winter.
Yeah, I ride it. I ride my bike winters, summer. Yeah, I dress right in the winter. I ride my bike to the stores and get my. Rarely do I ever need a car. I mean,
Cause like up here is like, who knows how this next winter is going to be, because the last winter was actually pretty tame.
Yeah, it's pretty tame
compared to the other winters I've been through. And it's like right now we don't know. It's like right now it's just the end of fall. Winter, or at the first snowfall, is like a month away. But who knows? I'll sit there and plan.
I should download some of videos and talk to and send them to you. Well, I'll put them up if I can find them of me in the snow, riding around in the snow.
Hey, listen, I'm no amateur in the snow either, right? And like honestly, it's like there was times I used to ride my bike and like it's not just a slush, it's the ice that you have to worry about.
Gotta know how to do it. That's what I suggest. Anybody that gets an e-bike or something, if you buy a bike, eventually you're going to fall. And there's no doubt that sooner or later you're going to fall. You're going to hit a curb. You're going to get stuck in a rut or something. I mean, get used to doing it and then practice. And then you get better and better at it. And then it's like, oh, this is nothing,
Yeah, because
I fell the other day, Joe.
Did you fall the other day?
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention, and there was rocks. It was like there were the border there were rocks, and I just hit the wrong rock, and I braced the fall, so it wasn't too bad. Yeah, I braced it. So
you got to learn how to fall. It's like football. You know how to fall because you played football, and it's just like a football fall. You just got to prepare yourself to hit the ground, and that's it. It's fun.
I kind of laughed. I hate to say I liked it, but I kind of it's like I like kind of getting bruised up a little bit.
Yeah, last time I fell, I was pulling up on a Save-A-Lot. I was going to the grocery store, and I went to jump up on the curb, and that's when my foot bottomed out. So you get pushed down, and then you come up in a bunny hop over the curb, and I didn't come up. It was like OTB. It's over the bars. And I was laughing, I just kind of, some guy ran up, is like, you okay? And I was like, yeah, that was surprising. But then things are going to happen. You're going to change. There's mechanical parts that bust, and if you don't, I suggest that you do an introspection of your bike, just like you would do with yourself every morning. You look at it, you look at it, make sure everything's okay. That's what my mistake was. It was my mistake. I didn't look and see if the fork had bottomed. But it's fun. I think, e-bikes are the future, I think, there's going to be, the electric cars and e-bikes, and it saves me a lot of money. And it just does so much for your attitude too.
And like it helps because like guys like myself who are getting older now.
Yeah.
And it's like I love biking, but sometimes when it come up to those steep hills or the long hills, puts too much pressure on my knee. And that's where it's like
you get
if I have an e-bike, it's like I'll just kick that on and ride up.
Yeah, they help you go. It helps you pedal longer distances. You can go. Juliet's back in and out.
Yeah. Got a bad connection.
Once you get ready to do that, Rick, I can help you out through the process.
Okay, well, that's good to know. We'll keep in touch with that because that's something I definitely want to do because hell, I'm getting older. It's like I can't do much for cardio. Like I can't run anymore.
Yeah,
because of the knees, and the biking is the best way. If I could swim, that'll be great. But I'm not close to a pool that I could go swimming.
Yeah, you can. It's still exercise too. The PAS system, that's a pedal assist. You turn on the pedal assist system, and it assists you, but you still get your exercise, and that keeps you going. And it keeps it. Hey, my knees. 3 years ago, I was thinking I wasn't going to walk anymore. I had torn the meniscus through on this one, and but I went out there and pedaled every day, and I'm walking pretty good now. And it's therapy. It keeps you younger, and the serotonin levels go sky high when you're riding a bike. You can't help but smile. It's like
exactly.
If it was a little easier, it'd be more fun.
There's no doubt. I was talking to a friend of mine, and his buddy overdosed last year or so. I said, the one thing he could have done that he wasn't doing is just getting out in nature and riding your bike and stuff like that, because not only you getting the nature and the sun and trees and water or whatever, but the people that go to the park are generally pretty positive and good people to be around. You know what I mean?
They're happier. They seem happier to me. They're walking, looking at nature.
Yeah.
Everybody has a decorum, and they say hello, and they want to talk about what they've seen.
Yeah. And like yesterday, I went 2 days ago, turtles and ducks and just the noises they make and just being out. And then this is in the Southwest. I'm in the Southwest United States. So I'm not even in where I'm from in upstate New York, where the nature's even better because you get more trees and all that kind of stuff. But so it doesn't really matter where you live. There's always a good park probably nearby where you can go. But maybe that was a simplistic way of the guy had a lot of drug problems, whatever. But I think that's something that he could have done and might have. It almost just like it could turn on a switch in your brain or your body or whatever to kind of get you through something like that. Addiction, to drugs or whatever.
Right, it's one of the methods I tell people to do too. If they're addicted, and I do with that, and it's one of the methods I use. You want to get their serotonin levels up, and it works for everybody. Your serotonin levels go up, you're happier, and it's one of the more fun ways to do it. It's not like you're working out and it's miserable and you're sweating, and you can do these things very natural and have a good time while you're doing it, and very healthy.
Yeah, because I get more high just going riding my bike in nature. Go to state park or park. Then I haven't been to a bar. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I was telling my buddy, like I get more high from just getting out in nature and getting exercise in nature. And I go early morning. I mean, 6 a.m. and sun's out, get sunrise or sunset.
Yeah.
Compared to going out to like a silly bar and beat around all that drama and craziness.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's like we're gonna go out for some chicken wings and get some beers and stuff, and we make it that we have to pedal there.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things. And here it's it's kind of a chore going anywhere because there's nothing here, restaurant wise and everything. So you have to pedal there, and by the time you're having fun, and it's just like, if you want to do this, we can go do it, but we have to pedal.
It's almost like the people. Well, it's almost like the people going to they're doing those activities. They understand that there's something wrong with the world, and there's something they need to do to kind of get back in balance. And
right, it's
that's getting in. Yeah, you're getting back to like your basic. I don't know word to use, but you're like your basic level of like humanity, kind of just getting in nature, you know.
Right.
Like you're back in touch with who you are as a person and getting away from all the cell phones and nonsense, you know?
Yeah, you can't talk on the cell phone and drive a bike at the same time. And you get to see all your neighbors. You wave and say hello. You get to know their faces. They know you. And, I mean, it's, it's something that's lacking in the society lately. I mean, how many people know their neighbors? How many people get out in their neighborhood and actually know what's going on in their neighborhood? I do, because I go and watch. I talk to almost every person, every person that gets out, I talk to them. And I mean, it's my way of socializing. It's sort of a cognitive therapy, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah. So, we can do things, in MGTOW, we're supposed to think out of the box. We're, you have to find those things. And I'm not saying that everybody should just go buy a bike. You can find that thing that you do too. If you don't like, cycling, I can't imagine that there's a person in the world that doesn't like cycling. But hey, if you like something else, you can find, look at the guys in Australia that started the club for woodworking. And they just built things. And, that was their way of socializing and, getting in touch with their community members and getting, doing something positive and, but
playing an instrument is another one.
You can play an instrument, join
the band, join big band.
Yeah, even if you suck like me, you can.
Like Vention brought up something. Vention brought up something too about, like, I don't know if you saw the last videos he did, but just talking about how like how don't get married because it limits you. Like, now you imagine if you're going through that type of crisis or going through something and you want to take up an instrument or you want to start riding your bike more. Imagine having a wife around. Oh, why do you want to do that for?
Why do you want to do that? You're taking time away from us.
My buddy was a great high school football coach, and he did it for about 5 years. He went to school at Cornell, and so he started coaching, and he took this team that was terrible and turned them into like state contenders. Cool. And all of a sudden I look up and he's like assistant coach. He did it for 5 years as head coach. He becomes assistant coach. I'm like, Mike, why did you become assistant coach? And what's going? I found out through another friend, and he told me his wife wanted him to step down as a head coach. Yeah, he took on assistant coach.
Wow.
And I was just so disgusted. Yeah, they have like 2 or 3 children, or whatever, and it's like, man, this guy loved football. He had his team on the way to winning state championships. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now they're still good, but they're not as good, And he just gave up his dream for his wife, pretty much.
Oh man, that's a sad story because it hurts so many other people.
Right. It hurts all those young kids. It hurts the community. Kids, exactly.
Community. And that's what divorce does in marriages sometimes. Like it's kind of like the story about my buddy that owned the big shop. He employed 400 people, but the divorce, she wanted half. They split it. She got what she wanted, the whole community, but 400 people in the community lost their job, and it was terribly stressful, just because she wanted a divorce. It's them things affect a lot more outside of us than we know.
Yep.
How you doing there, Black Wolf?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. It's been a rough couple of months, but I'm hanging in there. And
Hanging in there.
yeah, what happened to Bench was really
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker seeing him like that. I hardly could watch
Mm,
it. It's like it was so sad.
his positivity is what got me, though. I mean, kind of reminded me of my cousin. I, my cousin also has anxiety. I guess he just handled it in a more permanent way.
What happened to your cousin?
Yeah, suicide.
Another male suicide. Yeah.
because
Yeah,
that's why, when I was watching one tribute video to Vention, I was thinking about another guy who committed suicide, or possible suicide, Timothy Blades.
Yeah, Timmy was. They said he hung himself in prison, but when I checked prison records and called the lady, I actually talked to the lady that did the reporter that did. She said they had no idea what they were holding him for. He was in an actual state prison, but they had no idea what they were holding him for.
Wow.
And I was like, well,
Or because he was a man, he was by himself.
yeah,
What?
I still have not got that question answered, and it's like,
Wow.
and yeah, Timmy. We all knew Timmy, or Keith Kozerog, and it was very. It's confusing. He didn't seem unhappy. He didn't seem like that type of guy. But that's the thing. When my buddy, my neighbor, my Beck, I knew the guy since I was growing up. He committed suicide, and I was out with him that morning, and we got a 6-pack, and it was like a Saturday morning. We both had the day off. I was getting a 6-pack of Tall Boys up at the store, and so we sat in back of the convenient when there was an old mill that was back there. So we pulled up and we sat back there and drank a 6-pack and talked about life and stuff. And he went home and then shot himself. And I didn't see it. I mean, I didn't see it coming. I was like, there was no indication.
Black Wolf, was that the same for your cousin as well? Did you see
yeah.
it
I mean,
coming? Was it an indication?
no, there was no indication. I mean, but I know that if he had been living with me or living around me, that would have never happened. And of course, the bitches over there watched and took bets and everything, and so they got their little enjoyment out of it. Apparently he was, looking for me in his little
Oh, take a
final
shot.
moments and whatnot. You know, I just
Hmm.
discovered I'm just gonna have to become Kratos. It was like a Kratos and his brother situation. He had to whoop his brother's ass, and then his brother dies fighting this other fucking guy right along with him. I honestly just want to go Spartan rage on a lot of city fucking people, but it'd be no point. They always go after the
That'll be
soft
true.
targets. They always go after the soft targets. They don't go after people that can beat their ass, and I don't care. I'll say it live stream. Most people can kick your ass. Every of these fuckers, and just all of them. Damn it. The New York, the fucking, from New York, the Cali, the every other fucking places. That's what they do. They've always wanted to kill my family. I don't give a fuck. They gain enjoyment out of it. Our deaths bring them joy. Doesn't matter where we go. Doesn't matter where we fucking go.
Yeah, well,
And I was doing so well.
there's a lot of sick people out there, and unfortunately, there's a lot of sick people in position of powers that allow things like this to happen, where they don't care about individuals killing each other. They don't care. It's like if it supports a certain narrative, it's like, oh, okay, yeah,
You know,
they're gonna go along with that.
it's kind of funny. He used to help me with my anxiety. He was the one that taught me about the breathing exercises. I made a video
Wow.
about that. I mean, I thought he'd be okay before anybody. Honestly, I thought I'd kick the bucket before him, if anything. So that's kind of fucking unexpected. But I was doing so well too. I hadn't drunk in almost a month. Before that, I was doing so well on not drinking. I have to drink forever to maintain sanity. Apparently.
No. Actually, you don't have to do that. That's your choice.
Well, it's either that or get a barbed wire bat and just start cracking skulls. I mean, I just figure it's the latter. I mean, because this is why we need MGTOW. No one cares about men. We have no shelters. To all the people that watch this, we have no shelters. We have no outlet. And even though mental health is whatever deemed as a fucking female problem, despite men having a mortality rate that's 5 times women in every avenue. We die in every situation 5 times more than they do. We suffer 5 times more than they do, but it's recognized as a female issue. Damn. Nobody cares about a man's mental health until he fucking takes a pamphlet and cracks somebody upside the head with it. Damn phone book.
Well, our outlets are streams like this, but we also have private conversations as well. But with the private conversations, we can talk to every single guy.
Yep.
And being on a certain platform, we can't say exactly what we want to say either.
That's what I mean, you know. I'm kind of surprised.
Okay, back. Sorry.
I'm kind of surprised I haven't gotten the Alex Jones treatment. I'm actually aiming for that. I want to be banned on all forms of social media to where the voice causes people to ban me.
Well, you want that? I want to just stay around and just see what happens. It's like, sure, I put my voice out sometimes, but yeah, I want to kind of stick around, see where everything goes.
I told you. I mean, everything goes to Walt Disney. Disneyland. Clown World turns into Disneyland, and
yeah, people want to live in a fantasy fiction world rather than living in the real world, and it all goes to that, love and that fake happiness, and this is how you're going to do it the American way, and it's all a big lie most of the time, and but it keeps them in that mindset of. It keeps people in the mindset of there's going to be a reward. People are reward driven. Personalities are reward driven, and that reward never seems to come, and the happiness that's promised never seems to get there.
Because that's one thing I change around, because I'm living every day one day at a time.
Yeah.
I go to work, make my money, come home, relax, sit on the balcony. Some guys already heard the story. I sit on the balcony and I just like stare out, whatever. I relax, because like everything that I'm doing right now is part of my plan. It's part of my longer goal. And like honestly, it's like I could tell people what my goal is, but the thing is, they would not be able to affect my goal at all.
Right.
Even in a negative way. They can't stop me from what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's half of why we do this MGTOW thing. We cut those strings that can negatively affect us, and then I mean, sometimes it's a little overwhelming at first when you're sitting there and you realize your life is yours now, and you do what you want to do. Read a book, go out, or but. As long as these negative effects, half of our life when we're in the blue pill land is negotiating obstacles that we perceive in our head that aren't real obstacles. It's just it's almost traumatic in a way that we think that way, and once we cut all those strings and you realize that you have a life to live, and you have a lot of choices on how you live it too, and different choices, and there's a lot of different lifestyle choices you can incorporate into making yourself happy. It doesn't have to be that one single one that leads you down to this path of marriage and taking care of people and that stuff. You get a lot of choices.
Right. I think the best choice that we always talk about is the right to who we associate with. Right.
Who you freely associate with. Yeah.
Right. If you see some type of especially with simps, you got to be careful with, because I'm not always associated with the MGTOW, but a simp, it's like, forget it. I almost got triangulated this week with my friend and his girlfriend, and she started calling me and texting me. I was like, no. I was like, F no, this is not happening. That call was blocked. I had a conversation with him. Hey, what's going on here? I said, you don't need to triangulate me, and she doesn't need to either. This is over. I don't want to see her again, and I don't want to talk to her again. And that's it. And that's done. And that's it. And
yeah, that's
my life. And that's
drama.
it.
The drama is what they strive for. And that seems to be a replacement for actual living, and it gets them the excitement. It gets them their serotonin levels up, or whatever they need, or they adjust their chemicals in their head for that kind of excitement. But that's a fool's drama. It's a fool's game there, and they continue it, and they drag other people into it. That's why I always talk about paying for someone else's bitch. You're going to end up paying for someone else's bitch in one way or another, and you're going to end up getting dragged in.
And the codependency is tied to that too, Joe.
Right.
That's why you have to have right. You have to have that thick backbone to say, I'm not going to be a codependent in my life. I'm not, because it leads to your own self-destruction. It leads to your own self-destruction. What it leads to.
Right.
There's a funny cartoon about this in Rick and Morty from Jerry and Jerry and this and his wife or whatever. They have this episode where they go there and their relationship is so toxic they destroy the planet.
Yeah. That was the one with they were laughing at Jerry. It's like, oh no, that was the one in hell. I was thinking about when they get off on pain. So listening to Jerry was so painful, so everybody wanted to hang out with him.
That's the only reason anybody would hang out with Simps, just freaking to laugh at them. I mean, it's just, I used to have some compassion for the Simps, but anytime they drop their little Patreon or Cash App and they want men to pay them so they can spend money on women, because that's really where it goes back to.
That's where it goes back to. We know that.
You just have to laugh at them, because it's just that they're ruining their own life. And anyone that can't, I say all the time, if you're not comfortable by yourself, you're never going to be comfortable with other people.
Right. If you're not comfortable in this skin, it's hopeless. You have to get comfortable with yourself. And that's why we talk so much about introspections and reaching down and to really do the dirty work on our souls and on what we are, how we think. And we don't evade that we used to be simps and we used to be that and we used to do all the things they do, but we can now take a look at that and say, no, that's not good behavior. Being a simp is not a good behavior. Spending all your money on girls and that stuff is not good behavior. It's not productive behavior. Men don't act that way. But it goes along with the default position of the male is asexuality. We shouldn't be thinking of it. When you're working on your car, you shouldn't be thinking about that. And everybody thinks about that so much now, 100% of the time. It gets in the way of our productivity, and it gets in the way of your happiness too.
Yeah, it's the hedonism. That's why I never liked hedonistic culture.
But
it doesn't even have to go that far, because John Kramer, or Jigsaw, Jigsaw. Like he talks with me is like once a year he has to go through sexual diversity training. Actually, I could be wrong. Don't blame me.
Yeah, he works for the government, so he has to go through the classes.
So he has to deal with all this stuff. Like it's a big problem that's going on in the offices now. And especially in the government, where everybody's PC, is it really a big thing?
Is it really?
Or are these people, or are a lot of people just crazy?
Yeah, I think when I look out at men nowadays, and I look at some of the creepy things they do, and if they can't turn it off in an office situation, that's wrong. And I'll agree with that. The sexual diversity and. If I'm working next to a person that can't turn that off while we're in a situation where we're supposed to be productive, then that gets I can understand. I could be totally empathetic that would get irritating. And there are a lot of guys that, blue pill guys, they're all like that. They're constant. It's a constant thing. And it's not their fault, but it is their fault because they won't turn it off. It's saturated 100. It's taking a bus and you got this sexy pictures and the internet. There's all about sex and that stuff. And everything in our lives is when you're told, even if you're a Christian, when you're told that you're supposed to go out there and get a woman and do this and this, and everybody thinks that's normal, but that's not normal, and it does interfere in situations, work, and like I said, when you're working on a car, when you're doing sports, or I'm riding a bike, I'm not thinking about that. And I have the ability to turn that off. And every male, I assume every male has that same ability, but I'm not so sure much anymore in my life. I mean, when you see the guys catcalling,
what does it take? What does it take is like, okay, because like right now, in this society, it's like some guys is like they might have a need to like actually like touch or hug a woman in the workplace, or it could come down to it's like if you say the wrong thing to a woman, it's all, oh, you look pretty today, right? That could be counted as sexual abuse or sexual assault. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or even just
my problem
even just looking at a woman or a coworker.
Yeah.
Could also be counted as sexual abuse now.
Yeah, my problem is when things that shouldn't be taken, these things that come from two sides too. I walk over to a coworker and I say, "Can I borrow a pen?" There's nothing sexual about that. There was no sexual intentions, but sometimes people misinterpret things too.
Yeah.
So we should be in that class. Do they talk about how women often misinterpret men's intentions? Just because I'm a man and can I borrow a pen, that there's no, that could be misinterpreted as you were asking me for a phallic symbol and making gestures.
I think some of them do it purposely too. I mean, like they purposely misunderstand stuff, and that's why everyone watching this. If you,
right.
I mean,
Who
I work
are you
for
dealing
myself.
with too. That's when you're talking. I say this, and people miss it. They just get it. Just goes right over the head. When people are talking, they're talking about themselves. They're talking about what's in their head. When someone makes a comment like that, it's what's in their head. It's how they think. They're talking about themselves. When you're talking. We're talking here, but I'm talking about myself.
They project.
And then
Women
they
and Sims project a lot.
Yeah.
In their mind, your good
In their
morning might
mind.
as well be saying like nice ass or something, like according to them,
Right.
and that's how they interpret it. And that's why I
So
tell
when
men,
you're talking to someone like that, they can misinterpret a simple, a simple "Hi, how are you this morning?" for a totally inappropriate comment. And those are the people I worry about, because there's a lot of them on this planet. Because they don't realize when they open their mouth, they're talking about themselves.
it's like this weird deflection that they have to, bypass reality. And I know people got on me for mentioning the incel thing many years ago, but
Right.
simps have that quality more than MGTOW do. It's the social awkwardness that they think is normal, and it really isn't. And maybe they subconsciously know this, but no one's going to punish them for it. So, or check them for it. So they think that it's completely okay to be this way. I mean, if I had to go, I work for myself, but if I had to go and, go corporate or something, I wear a body cam everywhere I went.
Yeah. I mean, I've been talking to a friend lately this week and everything, and I said, and I said, you got a phone on you, record everything. And record everything that's important. People do creepy things, and you can't account for the minds of other people. And when you get into those situations, I mean, it's not so hard to take a 5-10 second video on your phone and keep it in your front pocket with the camera out. I record absolutely everything, and when the day ends, I just sit there on my phone and I repeat. I'll erase most of everything. I keep a camera on my bike. I keep a camera in my pocket. And if someone approaches me, I automatically hit it, stick it in my pocket with the camera facing out. And especially in situations like work, like we were doing some remodeling, and we had a little fire pit. We were getting rid of the wood, and I was thinking, well, we have to have evidence that we did this safely. And the neighbors might do creepy things. Someone say, "Okay, you burned down my garage," and then all of a sudden they get a new garage for a lie. So I record things. It's things like that, it's things, and you can imagine with human nature, if you're in a situation where you're forced to be like Joey was in, there's this other person and you're forced to be in that situation, man, record is is your best option.
Yep. Won't be too long now before you'd have to walk into a place and go, "Hello, madam. You're looking very satisfactory today. Here's a memo. Please don't sue."
Yes. Yes, you're being recorded, so this can't be misunderstood.
It's kind of funny because in my workplace, there's a lot of women in the workplace.
Mhm.
From the front desk, from the security to the cleaners and whatnot.
Right.
And like even still, it's like I go about my day, and like if I'm going down the hallway, past one of the cleaners, like the cleaner, listen, I don't say anything.
So, yeah.
The cleaner will just step out against the wall and allow me to pass. Doesn't say anything. And like she has her head down.
Yeah, you could never tell. I was in an actual situation with it was a corporate situation where I was exiting the office, and we had a meeting or something. I was going down. The cleaners were there. It was after hours, and then the next day there was some bizarre story that I had said something mean to somebody. Now I know how I am. I could be very sharp, but I reviewed that situation in my mind, and I was like, "There's nothing mean or obviously, but the story, you can't account for other people." And I don't know how we make towels. I can see there's a lot of things that can happen to you, and that's why I say risk. We do risk management well here, and you can kind of tell, being in MGTOW for a while, you can kind of avoid situations. And you say, nah, it's a matter of, I'm walking this way and I see 3 teenagers. I think I'm going to go around it and not interact. Stuff like that. Just small decisions, them ands, ors, or nots. I can go over here. I can avoid this situation. I can go here and here. I can do these things in life. And I become very accustomed to doing that, avoiding negative situations.
And this is why I'm happy. For me, I go to the extreme. Sometime last time I had to work with other people, I pretended I was a mute and carried a pad around with me.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I can't do such things because I work maintenance. I work maintenance, and I actually have to go into people's apartments.
Yeah, I've done that a lot in my life when I used to manage the apartment building. We had 680 apartments, and I'm trying to be the maintenance manager for that and keep all the parts on. You know how hard that is sometimes. You got 40 Moen faucets and this and that and door locks and everything. But there's a lot of creepy situations you're going to run into. And that's where I started seeing this sort of thing when you get into that situation, Rick, where you're looking at this little community, and there's girls that are nesting and they're calling you. They want to talk to the maintenance man. They're making up excuses to get you there.
Oh man, listen. Oh man, one tenant who just moved in like the beginning of this month had probably like 10 work orders.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? It's like, does she just want people to be around her, or?
Right. We had a couple of those situations with the maintenance men, and I had to call all my maintenance men together. We had to do a group meeting once, and I was like, okay, guys, you can't be don't be interacting with these girls that are I just used to just call it nesting. They're nesting. I'm looking at the work order, and they're repeat calls and everything, and you can't be interacting. And we had to fire one guy for that. It's like, no, you're not going to spend your whole day there. And guys get crazy from that. But in those situations, man, you got to be on top of your game. The old ladies will call you. They'll break something. Oh, can you do this little, the knobs or the air conditioner button or something like that. You try to be nice and you talk to them and they'll make you a cup of tea, drink the tea, be respectful.
Oh, actually, well, see, that's one thing I don't do. I don't spend too much time. It's like, I get in and get out. It's like, okay, well,
with it.
Offer some water. It's like, okay, I'll take the water. I'll take it to go.
Yeah, but you're trying to be human too, and
yeah.
And some of those old ladies are really lonely, and they just want someone to talk to for 5 minutes. And I used to give them that pleasure, But it's not the ones that are nesting. That's a different situation. That gets you in trouble if you come off too harsh to them, and if you turn them down. What are they going to say? Are they going to make up a story? Man, that's hairy interactions. And they can't make up stories and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Because trust me, I've seen it before. Yeah. And it's like with every apartment I go to, it's like I just behave professional.
Right.
So if one story comes out, it's like, oh, this guy was cursing or tried to make a sexual advance towards a woman. Everybody else in the building would say, that doesn't sound like the same guy that I know.
Yeah. Well, that's a man above reproach. That you're that guy that doesn't sound like this guy. And it's laughable that you'd make something up like that. That's when you become the man above reproach.
Yeah.
And that's a sort of MGTOW thing too. You have to become that man. Like your history is evidence of your character.
Yep.
Because I would say good morning, hello.
Yeah.
If I see someone in the hallway.
Well, professional. Good morning, hello. How are you? Is everything great? Any problems?
Actually, I don't have any lengthy conversation with anybody, except for the other guy I work with. But he's a guy, so I don't have to worry about him.
Yeah,
so then my manager, I don't have chit chat with. The sales representative, I don't have chit chat with. The lady at the security desk, I don't have chit chat with. It's like, it's as high. It's like, okay, I'm picking up this. It's like, okay, here's the keys, or take the keys, or there is no conversation that's happening.
Yeah.
Just like, hello. Just be nice. Just to be nice.
It's just be totally professional and negate all those situations. I do it a little different myself. I'm kind of over, I'm over happy and wow, it's great to see you today. And man, it's and people, you leave a positive effect on people, and that comes back to you.
I don't know if you heard about this thing called COVID-19, but we got to wear masks. Sorry. I'm laughing. Ever since I started working with this job, I've been wearing a mask, right? So people can't see me frown. They can't see me smile either, right? They have no idea because my facial expression is like, I don't emote with my eyes. I don't talk with my hands. So people can't really tell what I'm actually feeling.
Right.
I just come in there, is like, just do the work, and I'm out. The only time that you will actually catch me is if I go outside and have a smoke break. But a lot of people don't see me on a smoke break.
Right. You just, yeah.
Hello, sir. He was RP was blinking at me inappropriately. I think 2 winks was more scope.
I did notice.
Plus on top of that, I can't even see people, like, if you're like 30 yards in front of me, I can't tell who you are.
Right. There was something that I did notice after COVID. People were wearing masks almost all the time.
What do you mean after COVID?
Last year, and still up to this year, I see people. But there's a sense of security with that mask, and they mumble things, and you can't see their faces or their expressions or everything. When those masks come off, they forget to eliminate those expressions and those mumbles that they would do. And people seemed a lot meaner this summer. It was like, oh, they've forgotten that they've forgotten how to do those appropriate social behaviors. And 90, I can't remember the exact amount. It's a high amount. 86% of how we communicate with each other is our facial expressions and our body movements and our it's like language is great and everything, but to really kind of know a person, you get to know their gestures, their body movements, and their looks, and you know when they're disappointed, you know when they're happy, you know when the facial expression. But that mask took a lot of that away, didn't it?
Yeah, and the thing is, like over here, we still have to wear the mask, right? If I'm outside, don't have to wear the mask. But I don't talk to anybody outside.
Right. I got both my shots, so I rarely wear a mask anymore. And,
okay, well, you're a braver man than I am, because like, trust me, it's like my workplace is
through it. It wasn't a pleasant experience, but it was an experience that
I know, like I know about that situation.
I haven't gotten it yet. I'm just dedicated to just dressing up as Sub-Zero or Scorpion if it just comes down to it at this point.
You got the black, then just covered the whole face, and with the two little eye things, like the ninja scarf.
Just travel everywhere like that.
Cause like just a couple of days ago, like I was telling JK, it's like we didn't have any policy about the vaccine or whatnot.
Yeah.
But just like a couple of days ago, hold on, just a couple of days ago, they sent out an email saying it's like, okay, well, now we have to report our vaccination status, so if we're vaccinated or not. And I know where this is going to lead, right? Because they asked for the status, and then they said, okay, well, they're going to put the pressure on you to get vaccinated, or with the threat of losing your job,
dismissal.
Right, because they're doing this with the nurses right now. Actually, was it today or the 28th?
They're going to do with the nurses. You don't get vaccinated for yourself. In situations like you get vaccinated for others, so you're not a carrier. You're not going to get it. It makes everybody.
That's not how it works, though.
Yeah, I don't know
from that information
how it works, but you don't want to take it to your mother. It's like that's why you get
or my father, but my father,
right, your father, or your mother, you don't want to kill your grandparents, so that's why I got vaccinated, so I don't kill my friends.
Okay, sure. Everybody who's around me, everybody's around me got vaccinated.
All my friends agreed that we'll all get vaccinated. That way we don't kill each other, and that just seemed logical to me. But there was socially is where I'm really fascinated with this thing, because you've heard me say, like, last summer was the best summer of my life, and COVID was in full bloom and everybody was dying, and this summer really kind of sucked now that people aren't wearing masks and I can see their facial expressions, and something happened during that period. Something forced people into a more casually cruel existence, and I notice those things when I'm out. People are meaner this year. They're uptight. I've seen more incidents of Karenism or male. What would you call it? Male Karen. Darrenism, Karenism, and Darrenism this year than any ever year before. People are getting mean. But last year everybody kind of avoided each other, and I was happy. I was the happiest I've ever been in my life, not having to do those social interactions. And maybe it's just a MGTOW. The MGTOW in me is like, but this year there's something wrong with people. I mean, the things people blurt out there in public now was just, I've noticed it even today. I did my shopping today. I took a couple mile ride to go get my smokes at my favorite smoke shop and everything. Went and got some fish dinner and everything, but there's just something socially that whole thing just there's a real social impact with that whole thing, and people have to get back to normal, and they're still not back to normal.
I have a theory about that. I believe that the moment they made this whole mask thing global, it kind of like gave people an out to be a coward, and
Yeah,
now that
something
the mask is
something
gone, they forget.
right now that they take the mask off, they forget to eliminate that bad behavior that they had, that permitted. And I haven't yet thought all the way through it or looked at any social experiments I can get to identify what it is that they're actually doing, and I'll get around to it. But there is something different with people now, and
I think people are showing you the real them, and maybe this is a bit cynical or pessimistic of me to say, but this is how I feel about it. I think people were always that way, or a lot of
yeah,
people are always that way, and it just gave them incentive to just act out. And even if this whole COVID thing didn't exist, I mean, I don't see a time of things ever going back to air quote, normal, at least the
normal,
way it
right?
was.
Yeah, normal. What do you think it was? Normal was it was kind of a really blue pill thing where
Yeah.
we all hit our actual emotions. It's like going to the store and someone says, "How are you today?" "Oh, everything's great," even though everything sucks. That's kind of a normal blue pill thing, lying, and those little white lies we tell all day, and those things have seemed to expose themselves now.
Not to mention, I mean, this whole pandemic thing, I mean, it gives them a good excuse to try out their facial recognition software since everybody's wearing a mask now, and not to
Yeah,
mention bump up the crypto. I'm a firm believer this was planned, and people get
yeah. You
mad
see
when
a
I say
lot
this.
more cameras, even in the local convenience store. There's 2 years ago there was maybe 4 cameras on pinpoints, and now he has this surveillance system in there that's like something out of 2020, or 2000, it's out of a space movie. It's like,
2050.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
and it's weird out there now, and I think people haven't fully adjusted. Uh,
So that's,
I kind of look at it like people are showing their true colors now.
yeah, I mean, that's what they freaking do. I mean, it's it's funny, but they're just digging themselves into a deeper hole because once everything becomes, I don't hate technology, but once there's a camera everywhere and Elon gets finished with his low-hanging satellite, there won't be any where in the world that you can go to get away from this. It's going to be
Okay,
everywhere.
everywhere,
because
yeah.
I live in a big city here in Canada,
Yeah.
and yeah, there cameras all around, all over the place, anyways, and for
Right.
decades,
But even with
like
that,
on the streets, on the subways. Because
you would
back
think
in the
people
day,
would modulate their behavior. I've noticed more casual cruelty and lack of empathy and lack of sympathy this year than I've
oh
ever
man,
noticed in my life before.
Yep, and it's the human condition. I know
Yeah,
this may be a video game, but everyone watching this, go watch any clip from God of War, or pretty much just go play the God of War game. That,
which one?
well, any of them, like, well, four. Four was really good, either four or three.
4 or 3 or 2 or 1,
Yeah,
whatever.
either of them. Just play anything with Kratos ripping somebody's head off. That's the human condition right there.
Okay, so yeah, God of War 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
God was really good.
We could talk about Hannah Ardant and the Human Condition, which is one of my favorite books. It's the only female I consider to be an actual philosopher is Hannah Ardant and the Human Condition. Uh, and she talks about things like that through the light of Eichmann and how the Jewish community perceived vengeance and casual cruelty and what happened after the war and how we perceive these people and everything. And it was like, yeah, there's a lot to learn in the human condition. But COVID has really brought out, I like to bring up the The Plague by Camus, you know, is all in there about how people started acting, and there's, you know, the timeline, and you know, it's just, I think we could, I think we have good examples of the past and everything, and we have good examples, but nobody's teaching this stuff. There's
That's because they killed it, man. I mean, people go through 12 grades being taught a whole lot of
Yeah.
nothing.
a whole lot of nothing.
13.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
no philosophy class in high school, you know. It's no one teaches these kids how to think at a higher level, and ask the questions that are important, the moral condition and human condition, and you know, how do you think about these things? And I don't think that there's too many good instructors out there, and the whole college experience is, you know, unless you go to Harvard or Stanford, or, you know, that have a great teacher in those things in the philosophy classes, is, you know,
It's all part of the plan, man. I mean, I
Yeah.
made like a 28-minute video. I didn't say nothing. I just showed clips from different cartoons, like Futurama and stuff. They long for
cartoons are great when they explain those things, when they hit on something that's so ironic that it's funny, you know. But you
really
think about
Very,
the
very,
horror
it's
of
very true.
yeah, you think about the horror of that ironic situation, really,
It's
and it's like, wow, you know, when I think about that, it actually hurts me.
It really is terrifying because it's the dumbing down of society. I mean, what happens when we live in a world that's air quotes so safe to where people forget how to feed themselves? And I know everyone thinks it's silly for anybody to say that, but hey, I'm just using it as a very extreme example. What happens when people forget how to do the most basic
The
things?
most basic things. Remember when the hurricane came through?
Which one?
New York, when and it knocked out all the power, and there was no water and everything in New York City, and people were out in the streets begging for water, and the
Yep.
first thing I said is, "There's 40 gallons in your hot water tank,"
Yep.
and it was like they lost how they people in those situations lost how to do. I mean, there's rain everywhere, and you can't figure out how there's water a foot deep, and there's 40 gallons in your hot water tank, and you want bottled water. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Hell, some people don't even know how to filter their own water, man, or anything. That's why the preppers, I've been spending a long time hanging out with the preppers and even some of the doomers and stuff like this. Those are guys you want to talk to, the people who live in the woods and mountains and
I
trying
have
to get.
3 different ways on how to filter water, and I make my own carbon.
It's funny. It's like some states, it's actually illegal to collect rainwater.
Yeah, in some states,
Yeah, it's really dumb.
You can't collect. But in that situation, it's raining and the water's out,
Like-
and you got 40 gallons in your hot water tank, and there's a big thing just pumping water down. You know, I mean, get yourself a barrel.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me if this makes any sense. You can't collect rainwater, but you could dig a well down and
Right.
collect the water and bring it up.
Right, you could get a pump. I have like hundreds of pumps for my business I've been in, and you could. For me, if the water ever did really go down out and everything, there would be a hole in my backyard in a matter of days where I was pumping and filtering water out of.
Yep.
I don't know. Honestly, it's like there's like a disconnect between the society we live in and what
Reality.
we actually need to
In reality, yeah, maybe that's
what we
it.
actually need to survive.
Yeah, people are. I don't know.
A lot of people don't even know.
It's the
The
Walt
thing-
Disneyland effect, man.
It's the Disneyland effect, yeah, and that provides that. It's the same thing. It provides that existential crisis for these people that run into the smallest things, and it affects their whole lives, and it's just these are just little minute things. And when you start talking about more complex things like relationships and stuff and everything, and they get all they're all dysfunctional and stuff. It's like, well, you wonder why. I mean, look at the society we live in.
You know, you know. I had this one ex-girlfriend of mine. I she told her, it's like, don't believe everything that you see on TV.
Oh, yeah. Do your
And
own.
after I told her that, there was a commercial with a taco the taco family.
Okay.
And so like you have these little tacos like dancing around. It's like it's all CGI or cartoon or whatever it is, right? And then you see like a human hand pick up like the chow taco and eat the chow taco. My ex girlfriend was like, "Oh my god, it's like they ate the baby taco." I turn around and look at her. It's like, this is just like a commercial, right?
Yeah, this is just
And like, and if you just listen to me from what I said, just like a few minutes before, don't believe everything that you see on TV is real. But there are people out there like that. They believe everything's like
right. That's under
I swear to-
the existential crisis where you should, okay, these things are real, and now should I eat meat? And the mind goes there. It's like what was that, an anti-meat commercial or what? You're killing the animals now for that and everything. People don't work
it's
those
because
things out.
because the commercial personalize food.
Yeah, they personalized it. It was a sort of I don't know what you would call that, anamorphic.
Anamorphic.
A tacomorphic.
Anamorphic. That's what I think it's called.
Yeah,
Give
they
them
gave
personality
the tacos human, like they would do with animals.
Yes.
And if you want an explanation, look at Black Wolf's Avatar.
Not quite the same. Because like even still is like you could have like okay. The simplest term is like you could have a cupcake, right? And like you could like make like two little lines and like a little curved line, and then make a happy face.
And make a happy face on a cupcake.
And then once you make a happy face, you eat that cupcake.
Yeah.
Because now it has a happy face, and like you're gonna eat that.
Yeah, we do this with our gods too. Our gods, we give them human characteristics.
Yeah, gods, the clouds. It's like a pancake.
This is why everyone needs to learn to be more like Kratos. That guy killed gods for a living. That was his whole thing,
No, actually, no. He didn't start out. Okay, I'm not gonna get into that because I know too much of the story because I played like almost all of the games except for
I know he was an honorable guy before then and everything, but he had a choice to make, and he decided to slay some gods. And I mean, he didn't have much of a choice. I mean,
that's not how it got started.
Well, he had a family and everything too. I mean, he was blue-pilled and later became the antithesis of rage. But
rage.
Okay, what? Let's just say Kratos. He was born with that rage, but he was born unhuman.
Yeah, I mean, he had,
and then he went through his life and he became a god, and he did god things. And with his god things is like not only did he defeat one god, he defeated all of them, every single one of them, gods, titans, everything.
Yeah.
The one thing I could say about Kratos from the God of War series, he had determination. And if you actually play the game, the God of War like the 4 or the 2018 version, there's a character that says that you could never change.
Right.
Even though that he wants to change. He was trying to change with the sun, and like honestly, it's like
we deal with the exact opposite problem.
The most
on Earth, when your God doesn't show up, you have to sit in that God chair and become God yourself.
That's what I mean. We have to be the gods of our own life. I mean, Kratos needed to do those things. These were things that were.
I do my coffee ritual every morning where I sit down and I say, okay, God, we're alone. Nobody's around. You can show up and have a cup of coffee with me. And when he doesn't show up, I finish my coffee and go, okay, since you're not going to show up this morning, I have to go do this myself. I'm going to sit in the God chair.
So, like I was going to say before I was interrupted, the most important thing in Gods of War 4, which is his 2018 version, was when Kratos just let go. And he just allowed things to happen. Like he retained himself, but everything else that happened around him,
right?
He just let it happen.
I don't know if apathy is, good. We become apathetic in life as humans, and I don't care anymore. It's like we all get the efforts. The efforts are. I ain't got enough F's left to give anymore.
Time tends to do that too.
Yeah.
At some point you just get tired of a lot of stuff, and
which is a great book if you ever read it. Not enough F's left to give.
Because so let me make it clear before we move on to another point. Because Kratos, when he became the God of War, the God of War is actually a representation of pure strength. And Kratos has determination and strength. He could do whatever he want as long as it was physical.
Right. We could look at the male spirit and say, well, I have to do this myself. I have to become a god. I'm going to need to summon all the strength in my soul and my body to push my way through this world. And it's a good, probably, more a niche-y, like I got to do this. And it's probably a good moral point, I have to be the god.
that's why I
until
think
until you hear the rest of the story.
Well, yeah, it's a long story, I admit. I'm just saying, in general, like Kratos' character is a representation of determination, and even when you take out like the physical aspect, or the fact that he's slaying gods and killing everything, that's how we as men have to be in
That's
our
how
own
he is,
lives.
man. He's more like Zarathustra. It's Zarusha became God, and Nietzsche's fable of how to deal with this existential crisis in your life. Same characteristics, and at that time we didn't have CGI, and you know.
Okay. Maybe I'm okay. I'm going to just throw this out there. It's not just about strength. It's about being unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Yeah, you can make yourself unstoppable.
Undeterred.
You're a male. You're the human male. I mean, I'm the biggest thing that ever hit this planet.
Yeah, so you don't have to topple mountains, but the thing is that everything that comes towards you, it's like you're going to fight off, deflect, beat down into a pulp or into fragments.
Right. We limit ourselves, but we keep our swords up. And there's a good story I tell about Arjuna and Krishna. And it's like, who do you know who to fight? There's your family and friends on one side. There's an army on the other. Well, no, you keep your sword raised because your enemies will come to you.
Yep. Not to mention, we as men, we face our destiny head on. Women don't. Children don't.
Yeah, that's metaphysically speaking. We keep our guards up. We keep our strength, and we at a moment's notice, you're going to have to summon that as a male.
Exactly. I mean, and the whole thing, the way I look at it, not even so much about winning or losing. If you know something's coming, you just get as prepared as you possibly can, either for your demise or your victory.
Right, and that's the way we males are, and we get used to that. It's not all males are like that. I think MGTOW males generally are like that. Keep your sword up, be ready. These people are going to come at you with so many bizarre things that you have to. Your road is going to. You're swerving out of their way, and it's best to swerve out of them things. Just avoid as much as you can risk management. We talk about it all the time. But it's good lessons in life. If you get too apathetic, you become too trustful, and that's our problem. It's what brought most of us here. We became too trustful, and then we had our event. I don't know what your event was, or people wound you, and that's because you were too trustful. You didn't keep your sword up. You didn't. You forgot who you were.
Mine was when I realized my own mortality, because there's been a lot of death in my life in general. It's not even so much about being burned; it's about the realization of my own mortality in that.
Your
And
own
yeah, I got burned.
mortality.
Yeah, and I got burned a few times too after that. I mean, searching for loyalty in all the wrong places. Friends are nice, family is nice, but at the end of the day, people have to trust themselves too before
Right.
anything else. When you don't trust yourself, that's a problem. And a lot of blue
That's a
pillars
problem.
and simps, they don't trust themselves. If they did, they wouldn't act the way they do. They wouldn't.
Right. It's
They
about
wouldn't be talking
their
about
behavior.
all. Yeah, they wouldn't be talking about all the women that they have sex with and all this stuff. It's pointless. Kratos didn't have to talk about that. He got puss or whatever. It wasn't never. You'll never hear the dude talk about all the freaking women he was with because he doesn't need to.
Yeah, he
That's the
doesn't
main
need to
thing.
do that. No validation. We do that when we do our
Yeah,
stage.
because he had one defining moment in his life that screwed him up, and that's what he was trying to forget, but the guys wouldn't allow him to
Right.
forget that moment.
Exactly. Yeah. The other gods wouldn't allow him to have that thing he needed, or they'll start. It's the same thing with humans. They'll start. You'll live this way. You'll think this way, and then that you got. I kind of in logic it would be an and or a not, but you have these executive commands coming in how you're going to do things. And that's what usually screws things up.
And that's what screwed up Kratos.
Yeah, I'm going to take a short break. I have to go get a beverage.
Oh man, I was about to go get a beverage too. I was waiting on. No, actually, I'm okay. I'll talk about Black Wolf here.
All right. So are you gonna be prepared for that day, RP, when I dress up as Sub-Zero, take all your beer, and when you come chasing after me, I'll just throw the whole ice tray on the ground in front of me and just start coughing in your direction as I run away and trip down the stairs?
No, because I'll never let that happen. If that was a real scenario that played out. The thing is, I dealt with people close to me dying, from an early age, like my grandparents, like my grandfather, on my mother's side. On my father's side, I never even seen my grandfather on my father's side. My grandmother, she lived to 90 years old. My grandmother on my mom's side lived to, I think, like 60 something, but she had diabetes. My grandfather on my mom's side had diabetes, which is one of the reasons why it's like I'm kind of aware of how much sugar I take in, because I don't want to get diabetes either.
Yeah, that's why it's good to exercise. That's why I've been doing everything I can to cut back, eat one meal a day, get 15-minute jogging or something. I'm also
Yeah,
4 pounds.
watch your diet and whatnot.
And that's what I've been doing. Stay away from a lot of breads. But going back to the family thing, I try not to think about it as much, but I know I'm gonna be the last one out, and it's fine. It's a bloodline that needed to go anyway. The way I see it, who cares? Thing about it is, it just like Kratos, we don't get a moment's peace for anything. Just when you relax, just shit's always happening. I would have liked to have had that, level of closeness, but I didn't, man. That's the shitty part. You played the games. As much as I
Yeah,
like Kratos,
I play the games. I play the game, but also I play the game of real life too, right? Because
Right.
I had a cousin who was mentally retarded. He was like that ever since we were young, and he was the same age as I was, and we grew up together because our families were relatively close. So we spent some time growing up and playing together. And I remember what like way back when is like I went to complain to my mom because my cousin had ripped off all my buttons off my pajamas because like he was trying to hold me or something like that.
Okay.
And I went to my mom. It's like I said, it's like he ripped off all my buttons, and my mom saying, "Yeah, don't worry about it." And like honestly, it wasn't until I was older, and I was a teenager, and obviously he was a teenager as well. But comparing myself to him is like I was a giant to him. And I look at him, it's like,
I
you know, it's
mean,
like he's still my cousin.
yeah, I mean,
And I used to go out with the walks like around the block and whatnot, just get some exercise and whatnot. And like my cousin was like, honestly, it's like since I've known him, he didn't say a word in his life. Like he made like grunting sounds and whatnot, but he never said a single word. And he didn't live long. He died when I was in my mid-20s. He was the same age. And I seen him one time when I was going to work. I seen him on the bus. And I seen him. I said, "Hey, how are you doing?" Such and such. I'm not going to say his name. And even still, like he doesn't say a word, but like you know, like he knows who I am and all that. And I remember some teacher or some teacher counselor came up to me. Is like, "Oh, you know him?" And I said, "Yeah, he's my cousin." And honestly, it's like that was the last time I seen him alive. That's in our 20s, and he's not the only one who's close to me that died. Because I had close friends who died, aunts who died. Actually, I had my own child die. Well, then again, it's like depends if I believe the story or not.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to deal with death in this life. We just had, the death evention, and we were kind of the topic today. And he's a friend to all of us, and we have to. It forces us to think about what we believe, and we have to come to some kind of closure with this thing. Uh, and I know the way I do it. I'm an atheist. I just believe that what was life like before I was born? There was nothing. There was no pain. There was no hardship. There was nothing I could remember that was a bad, and so that's where I go back to. But
Right.
in this life, we get fed all sorts of stuff about what's going to happen at the moment of deportation. Uh, uh, and it will make you, it makes you sad, it makes you think. And what we lost, we think about most of the time. I think about, I'm going to live 60, 68, 70, 72 years. My family usually dies around 74 and everything, and the accumulated knowledge that I take in and this person that I become over, that's all lost. And that's the absurd part about it. It's like we just lost all that to what?
that's what bothers me about that. I had a lot of time to, I mean, I make a lot of jokes, but I also meditate on that as well. I mean, I know that we need to live in the here and now. It's
Yeah,
just when you lose family members, I've lost uncles and aunts, and it's usually, either, well, Well, because we stay around for a while, but it's usually either to, old age or heart problems or cancer. I mean, cancer also runs in my family and everything, and it's just it's a it's a weird thing like that was passed on. Like we just powered through to like we try to ever think about it, but we just power through and everything. And I honestly believe it's the rage and the hate that keeps most of us alive. It's just it's it sucks because with my cousin. And even, my dog. I mean, I don't know if everyone remembers my wolf that passed
Yeah,
too. I mean,
Shadow.
Yeah, yeah.
Shadow. There's two of them, right?
I gave Snow away because it was too painful to keep her.
Oh,
I just didn't want the memory. Gave that one away and to my god kid, and hopefully he'll take care of her. But I just didn't want to raise. I don't. I'm looking into getting a fur or something, man, because I don't want another wolf or a dog for a long time. It's just it was a very messed up thing for me. I dug a hole for him. I laid in that hole for almost 3 days, just looking up.
Yeah, I did the same thing with Dougie when he died, and I put him in the garage, and I dug the hole, and I left him there because it just couldn't get that. I just needed this,
yeah.
kind of come to grips with he's not around no more, and he's my best friend, and it was just something. It was a procrastination thing where I just kept procrastinating. Finally, my son says, "Are you gonna?"
No, it's not just that because um even after Dougie died, I was listening to one of your old videos, and I heard Dougie barking in the background. And honest to God, it's like even myself, I was shedding a tear.
Right, I kept hearing Dougie bark, and yeah, I know he wasn't really barking, but those, you get so used to something in your life. Him waking me up in the morning, licking my face, and
Yeah, the positive things, the good
yeah,
things in life.
and I find it hard. It was a good week before I put him in that hole, and then I put the cement top on it and everything, and everything. And I still go out there. I walk out there by the back of the corner of the yard and say, "Hey, what's up, Doug?"
Hmm.
Yeah, it's good that you do that. I mean, I'm sure somewhere he sees, he acknowledges and sees that. I mean, I was up in that hole. It was weird. I knew that my dog was gone. It's just I couldn't process that. Like I knew what it was, but just like a part of my brain would not
Yeah,
process that.
it's our
Yeah,
brain can't process that absurdity. Absurd things bother us men, especially too. It's like divorce bothers us because you made these promises, and the absurdity
they
is,
weren't fulfilled.
yeah, it's like you had no intentions of fulfilling these promises. It was just a lie. A lie bothers us. Death is like being lied to by God,
Yeah.
or these gods we presume were there, and then that becomes a lie. So it becomes entangled in a bunch of lies. And us males, we don't do good with lies. Uh, we have to untangle them. We have to make things reasonable. We have to make things logical. And death is one of those things that aren't logical. It's not reasonable. It's an absurd thing.
It
Hmm.
really is.
And there is no answer to it. It's just like, how can I
Yeah,
answer this question? I'm
you're banging on. There is no fuck. There's no answer. There is no
no
answer to
answer
this.
to it. It's just fucking absurd.
Cause like I lost like one of my best friends, my good friends. He he was 31. I was 30. He died just like that. That was like 15 years ago. Now, and of all people, it was like I thought for like 5 years it should have been me instead of him.
Yeah, we do that thing where it's like I would give anything, even my own life to keep this
Yeah,
person on this
to get
planet.
him back, to get him back.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, it doesn't work like that, man.
No, it doesn't. It's very unfair. And you look at a guy like Vention, it's like he's happy. He did well. He made a lot of good decisions. Uh, It's like, why, why him?
Yeah, why him?
It's like, it was
Fuck, why him?
out of all the people on the planet, that there's probably nobody that would like say, I want that guy dead. There's probably a lot of people that want me dead, but that guy, no.
Hey, listen, nobody wants you to deal with your majestic beard and all that.
But
hey, listen, I'm still trying. I'm still trying to grow on. If only it could be like Uncle Trav.
Yeah, Uncle Trav. Yeah. No, it's just absurd, and it's a hard thing for us to go through. I wish there were a lot more answers, and we delve into these things with psychology and philosophy and everything. Where do we go? Where the metaphysics of it all? But there is really no answer. Camus does a very good job. If you guys want to read The Rebel or the myth of the myth of Sisyphus, he'll delve into death and there's really nobody that talks about this. I sat at the hospice center for about 2 months once. A friend of mine's mother was about to die, so I drive them there, and then I would sit in the library at the hospice center where there's all the books about everything you can imagine. There's a library outside. You know what hospice centers are. There's a library in the sitting center, and I could get all the books I could possibly find about death. And over those 2 month period, that's what I did for 6-7 hours a day, is just read those books, and none of them fully. None. And then I start noticing the behaviors of people. This guy's dying this way. This guy's dying this way. Some people go out very quietly. Some people are happy with their lives and everything. And then I start thinking about that, about MGTOW and what am I going to go out? Am I going to be dignified? Am I going to be screaming out to this world that something was unfulfilled? How are you going to go out? That's the only way you can perceive this thing. How are you going to do it? And when that moment comes, I think I'm going to go out very peacefully, not have a lot to say, and like I've done pretty much all that I wanted to do, and that's what you can do. My philosophy on life's pretty straight. I'm not confused about a lot of things. Make that period as generally peaceful as I can. But there are people that are going to go out kicking and screaming, wondering why it didn't work out for themselves. There's these remorseful, remorse about, I didn't do this, I didn't get to do this, but that's your own fault. During life, you should have.
Yeah. So like the thing is, like while you're living, while you're still breathing, while you're still able to live your life the way that you want to live. Don't live your life for somebody else. Live the life that you want to live.
And that's what MGTOW promotes most of all. I like what Camus said about this thing. What is the meaning of life? It's life. Live it.
To live it.
To live it. And that's what he was saying. That's, if you want the question of what is life or what's the meaning of life, life is life. Live it. Live it. And I think Vention lived his life to the best of his ability, and he didn't seem like there was that much. But we can see with the other examples in life, people, they go out too young, and they truly don't understand this.
Or they didn't have a choice.
They didn't have a choice on it. That's how heartbreaking if a person that had great potential dies, and it's like too short, and then you're like, oh, that person has so much potential. Well, how absurd is that? We all get cheated.
It's like the life of man, suffering or whatnot. And like after all that, it's like it's like as a man, it's like you still got to deal with it. You gotta still live until the day that you die too.
Yeah, I try to live every day. It's like it's part of my rituals. I made it into a Mgtow ritual to take the bike rides, to smile for a little bit each day, wave to my neighbors. And I know there's smart ass little kids, look at Santa Claus on a bike, saying casually cruel things. I don't let those things bother me. Them are casually cruel things coming from moronic people. And that's what I've noticed lately, that the rise of the casually cruel statements and the moronic statements of people that you got to wonder, what's in their mind.
It's a dumbing down society.
Yeah.
That's what
It's
it
a
is.
dumbing down society.
No
The
question.
thing
Look,
is,
look at these
the thing
TV shows
is,
we
like
got now. I don't watch any of them, but look at that. Look at the media. Look at the TV shows and the movies. Look how bad they are. And Black Wolf brings it up all the time. When you're silencing comedians and you're silencing people that are against the narrative.
what happens with me is like I kind of like deflect or ignore any negative thing that's said towards me. It's like, honestly, I fucking don't care anymore.
I don't fucking care. Yeah.
It's like you could call me gay, you could call me incel. It's like it doesn't matter to me. I know who I am.
There's going to be hundreds of those episodes in your life, and and I just attribute my going out of a convenient parking lot. If I'm going out of a parking lot, someone cuts me off, and then we have our little yelling match, and then we both go our own ways. 5 minutes down the road, I'm still yelling. That's my own fault.
That's your own.
Shit real fast now. I know
It's a lack of maturity.
it's not everybody in life's gonna like me. I know that, and it doesn't really matter that they like me. If I carry that with me down the road and don't start smiling within 2 minutes, I got to stop and start doing that MGTOW introspection about what bothers me about this.
Yeah, I noticed too. The thing that irks me the most are older people that are immature.
Yeah,
like you had your whole life. Yeah, you had your whole life to learn, and you're still a jagoff,
Yeah, like that Christian lady. She's like, when I wear the Muslim cap and the whole thing about Muslims was there, and I'm riding my bike and I'm going up and I hear her, she's the preacher's wife, and I know they run the church and everything because I know my neighborhood, and she says, "Ooh, there's the problem with everything in life right there." And it's like, I wear this hat because I fucking ride a bike and I don't want my hair in my face. And it's like, and it was just, if I hang on to that, it was one of the most cruel things I ever heard in my life. And I wanted to stop and say, man, you are such a piece of shit. But I didn't. I just rode on and started smiling again. It's like, I know 50 yards up the road, there's going to be the two dykes that are going to wave at me, and I'm going to wave and go, hey. And 20 yards more, there's going to be the lady that lives at the corner. She's going to wave, and then the other lady over there's probably going to stop me and tell me what's going on in that corner. It's like, no, just enjoy your fucking self, and don't carry those things longer than you need to.
Yeah, that's why you gotta embrace the hate. You gotta love your haters, man. You really have to.
Just let it go.
They're jealous. Well, they're jealous. They're jealous. Because here you are, Joe. You're riding your bike. You're like that happy kid riding his bike, but you're in your 50s, but you're acting like you're a teenager and enjoying yourself. And she's this miserable little bitch. She's this miserable little bitch. They can't stand to see you happy. They can't stand to see us happy.
And they're going to be miserable in their house, and she's going to be miserable watching TV. She's going to be miserable with her husband. And we can see, as MGTOW, we can see this whole, you guys believed in that whole bullshit, Jesus, get married, go to college, blah, 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 get an education, work hard, the whole thing, and you're fucking miserable. And now you're taking it out on me, probably the happiest guy in the whole neighborhood. And I have a lot of people, like the two dyke girls, they often point and go, there goes the happiest guy in the world.
Yes, I can only hope everyone reaches that point. I mean, because as the old saying goes, Misery loves company.
Yeah,
And I try to be understanding of people going through a rough time, but when I see people who pretty much
just
had nothing go like nothing really either nothing went back for them or they're just unlikable. I can deal with an asshole, but when someone is unlikable, just wow. There's no
wow. Yeah,
positive with
that
them.
misery. They're trying to share misery with you. I don't need that. Keep it.
Yeah, I say let them keep it. As I always
Yeah,
say, let
keep
evil
it.
kill itself.
You can keep your misery. I'm just gonna pedal on by. I'm exactly what I used to hate in my life too. If I seen me now when I was younger, man, I would have been that guy that would look at that guy pedaling. Just pedaling in a bike. It's like,
Enjoying his life. What's wrong with him?
yeah, what's wrong with that guy? I get in my car and go to work and do it again, and I'm miserable because I'm married and trying to live up to some Christian standard, you know. And I'm exactly now what I would have hated then.
These people, they don't live their lives. I've known people, I took up pottery. I got way better at it now. I've been
Pottery,
practicing.
I love pottery.
I was terrible at it. I made a bowl and a cup.
Did
Pretty
you
good.
make bowl in a cup? I want to build a kiln. And it's like one of my biggest things I want to do in the garage is build a kiln.
I say go for it, man. I mean, I think MGTOW is a great thing, and because I met guys that even though I'm not into like mountain climbing or
Yeah,
hang gliding, I've met
I can't
people
do
that
that.
could just talk your head off about it, like, and not in a bad way, but in a good way. They're so passionate about, like, yeah, I went hang gliding my first time. I love it. I'm gonna learn everything about it, and I'm gonna go rock climbing, and they I'm not saying you have to risk your life or anything
Yeah.
to live, but some people get off on like just either the possibility of danger or just living. It reminds you of
Oh,
how
if I could
valuable
do
life
it,
is.
man, I would climb those things back there if I could. If I still had that 20-year-old spirit, And I remember being that way when I was younger. I wish I could do that now still. And I'll listen to their stories and enjoy their joy of that. That's great. It's like being adventurous and everything. It's man, them stories are great from people that have that spirit.
Yeah, that's ultimately where I'm trying to get, man. It's gonna take me a little while, but I'm definitely moving. As to where I'm moving, I don't know. I just want to go somewhere where it rains a lot and I can still get on my treadmill or go biking and
Yeah.
pottery and everything. I'm trying to hopefully retire in the next like 9 years. If I plan this out right, even if I work 3 days out of the week, at the very least I'll have some level of peace. And that's
Yeah,
really all I
that's
want
what it
because
is.
life is
Peace.
short.
That peace in your soul that is, I know I did a pretty good job here. It's, it's, I didn't fail, and I found the happiness. That's cool. I mean, I wish all people could share those stories, but there's a lot of kids. There's cruel people out there. I think that's what we struggle with all the time. But that's most of the stories I hear in MGTOW is about those cruel people, those people that don't understand how we live. And it's like, oh, yeah, I wish I could cure that problem. And that's usually, the mean old
Well, I,
feminists.
I think the answer for me has been just to don't associate with them and just
Yeah,
don't even have a conversation with them. I'm just not.
don't even. Yeah,
I'm not wasting my time. I can't waste my
oh
energy on that bullshit. I can't do it anymore.
God, once people start doing that around me, I hear that casually cruel spirit talking about somebody, or you know, everything's negative and everything. I try to cut that off as fast as I can now.
And that's also those people that are all about materialism and shit.
Yeah,
They gotta have the newest car and all this kind of shit,
yeah,
new clothes and that. They're just so freaking annoying.
yeah. They usually judge people harshly on looks and conformity. If you don't conform to the basic looks of the human being, that's shaved and have a suit, and you don't conform to those standards, they're going to be like way on you.
Element used to talk about that a lot. That group think, it's so
You know,
true.
that's why a lot of people need to defect from it. We're in the decaying culture, fellas, and let evil kill itself. I mean, it used to be a time where I used to, entertain that. I never really went around, talking crap about necessarily people. I mean, I'd be like sharp and sarcastic, but I wouldn't be go out of my way to destroy someone's life. I just kind of hit it one time and then move on to like the other thing. But I've seen people hate on other people so much that they try to, they're the type of person that across the street go to a place they would never go to just to be around the air quote person they hate, and it's a weird obsession. I just learned to leave people alone, and now whenever I see people my age and older resort to the, petty name calling, when they like, I cut that off. I don't even like get mad at them anymore. I just block the number, cut it off
You just
completely,
got to end it.
because I hate using this word, but they're just too. They use it a lot, but they are the toxic ones. They're like the toxic
Right.
Avengers. You can't deal with them.
Right? Yeah, they're
You get too old for shit after a while, and then it's just when I'm in my teens and my 20s, I would have tolerated a lot more, but it's actually kind of funny. Things that I would have never tolerated, I'm more tolerable of now, and things that I always tolerate, I just have a very low patience strand for it now.
right. The MGTOW bench too helps out. You can sit and watch this stuff from a distance. Just like laugh. This is so funny sometimes. I mean, the things we notice now is you can sit somewhere and watch, and as long as you're kind of transparent to the world and you just look out there and watch how these people are acting, watch how your friends are acting and everything, you start seeing those little things that we talk about all the time. And it's like you just giggle and go, it's like it's so weird that they don't know.
Yeah, it's like all the information's out there. They just refuse to learn it. It's just
Yeah, they're buying into it just to live in that fantasy fiction world, and we always go back to that.
It's like it's really funny because some people need to be around others even if those people are negative, and I'm like the opposite. I mean, sometimes
Yeah,
people grow apart, whatever the reason. Once you know you can't be around somebody anymore, just be like, okay, we're good. Have a great life and everything, and you go on your merry way. I don't try to stay
I'm
where I'm at no
sorry,
more.
we just can't be friends. I mean, it's just like I don't want go on, do the best you can in life. I want best for everybody, but there are people that you know do things that I don't approve of, and I don't want anything bad to happen to them. I just want not to have to see it.
Exactly. I mean, it reaches a point to where you have to start to consider you. And for me, I'd rather hang out by myself and hang around a bunch of
Right.
narcissists and stuff and people that just so evil spirit dream assassins, and they just wish you like the worst like imaginable thing. I've had people get mad just because I'm happy, or mad that I'm not as
Right.
unhappy as they are.
There are like people that are really just evil in this world. I'm dealing with one right now. It's like they do really evil things, and there's a certain air around them where everything becomes fucked up. And me and my friend talk about this a lot. It's like as soon as this person comes around, he's just doing evil shit, and it just brings a dark cloud to everybody, and we're trying to figure out how to just remove it. It's like it's not like we're not impervious because we're MGTOW. We see these things, but there's going to be actions you're going to have to take in your life. These things, you're not impervious to these things. These things are going to come into your life, and you're going to have to be able to spot them. But the good thing about that is if you leave these things in your life, you know what happened before.
And I think it's a good thing because you learn how to handle things a little bit better
You learn how to handle those situations, and then you get on top of the things that are going to harm you. I mean, you've seen it before, and there is a certain maturity in MGTOW too, and nobody can deny. I mean, but no matter how hard you try, there's going to be evil people that are going to come into your life. And I hate to use the word evil, but there's going to be drug dealers and thieves, and you're not going to spot them right away.
That's the thing, there's no saying when someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Yeah, you're going to have to figure that out, and in MGTOW, we just kind of casually figure it out and try to deal with it and keep our sanity while we have to deal with all this craziness in the world. And hey, from your government to people around you, to your neighbors and everything, everybody wants everything you own. They just got to figure out how to get it. I was just going like we got the new proposal the other day on the county charter, and it's like they want to expand like 200 jobs or everything so they can employ their family members and everything, but that's going to raise the cost of your house pay, taxes and everything, and they think that's okay. These are evil people that just want to, they're self-serving evil people that just want you to pay for everything they got, and they want to take everything from you. I mean, that's the way life is. There's a certain dark side to this humanity. And unfortunately, there are them people. And no matter how hard you try, they're still going to be around. I wish we could isolate ourselves. I wish we had a MGTOW. I wish that dream would have came true so I could live there right now.
Me too, man. I call them apostles. I mean, I may be. It was funny. First, I was Roman Catholic, then I was atheist. Now I just think I'm agnostic at this point. I
I
just
have no idea anymore.
yeah. It's like I want to believe in something, but the other half of me is just
Yeah.
too around in reality at the same time.
Yeah, I want to believe in something better, but I have to stick in reality for now because, like I say, it doesn't show up every morning, and I got to do it myself. That's not fair.
I guess you could say like I'm agnostic on a good day, atheist on a bad day.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's like I wanna believe in something, man. But
Oh, you ever have one of those moments where you change from agnostic to atheist, and then you can see your nihilism come?
yeah,
And then you're just around these people, and all of a sudden you go totally atheist on them.
yeah, it's happened before, man. I sometimes gotta control myself because I just like I go into. I had a friend ask me one time. He's like, oh, I think it's good," and everyone's like, "No," because he asked me, he's like, well, "What could possibly go wrong?" I'm like, "Is that a rhetorical question?" He's like, "No, tell me everything that could possibly go wrong." I was like, "Okay, well, I got a huge list. Got a huge list. Just I tell people how I feel about things in a sarcastic, respectful way, but I think we live in a time period where people can't tell the difference, or the average person can't tell the difference between sarcasm versus an all-out attack. I mean, they get so upset. You say, someone says, "Hey, do you like my car?" You say no, and all of a sudden they hold that against you. Like, "Oh man, I remember 5 years ago he said he didn't like my car." I'm like, well, you asked him. Hell, he gave you his honest opinion, and now you're upset about it. It's just
Yeah.
people are
My
so
sister,
hypersensitive.
my sister has a real talent to notice at parties and stuff when we go to family reunions and stuff like that. And she has this real talent to notice when I'm right at that edge of breaking off into an atheist. And she'll be like, Joe, stop. Have another drink. Go over here. Would you like some cupcakes or something? She's like, don't.
So it's like the same with you then, man. I have friends that do this. They're like don't don't go over there and tell them reality. I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, don't share reality with them. So let it go. She brings me back down to like, let it go, Joe. And I'm like, okay. Give me another cupcake. It's
Let me guess. It's like the same with you. I mean, people think that we do this to make them feel bad, and that's not it. Like we want the like the balloon that's flying off in outer space. We just want to kind of pull the balloon back a little bit.
yeah, I just want to pull it back a little. It's like you go out there and there's going to be Christians and basically blue pill people. When they start talking, my sister will start looking like, oh God, they're talking about like marriage and shit around Joe. and doing that whole thing. No. She'll come and grab me. Oh, you got to go see this. She knows how verbal I could be. And it's like, oh, it's like, fuck. That's life. That's life.
I had a friend. He did that. He was, his kid was acting up, and this kid and everything. He didn't want to say anything bad, And he got mad at me. He's like, just shut up, Wolf, shut up. And then finally, his kid made him so mad because he made me promise not to cut loose on the kid because the kid was a smart ass.
Yeah.
And finally, he said, Wolf, let her rip. I'm like, you
Let her
sure?
rip.
Because I'm gonna go 100% on this kid. He's like, yeah, go all out. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's like that moment where you're dealing with that kid and you just go, "Hey, you little fucking bastard, go over in a corner and fucking," you start yelling at him, and it's like nobody does that for him. It's just everybody gonna let this little jerk be, run the whole show here.
Oh man.
Kid's got an IQ of a fucking possum, and you guys are letting them all run the show.
A little healthy dose of like people need to humble themselves, man. I mean, some people need to be knocked down on their butt to kind of like how Muhammad Ali did. Listen, you gotta knock like verbally knock people on their ass, or else they just if they don't because they won't stop. Some people need to have that moment where
Yeah,
something just humbles them. And me and his son were going at his son said a bunch of messed up stuff about me, and then he got mad when I agreed with him. Like, yeah, you're talking to me. I'm fucked up. You just spent like 10 minutes talking to a fucked up person. So what does that make you?
what was that video, Rick? The other with the Christian guy on the subway, and then people just slowly started getting like irritated with him, and then finally the one guy is just like, "Okay, why don't you shut the fuck?" I mean, you can have those moments in life where, man,
Yeah. It's always good, man. I always have something to say about like everything. I hate that back then I was too quiet about stuff, but then again, when you don't know, you don't know. And by the way, sorry for interrupting you, RP. It's just been like a crazy few months, man. I
this
feel like
summer's been different. Like I said before, it's just been different, and I've noticed a real difference in people. I don't know where it came from. We equate it to the mask and the COVID and the lockdown and the government intrusions in our lives and all the drama that's been, you can't help but to see it when you're locked in your house. You can't help to see it. But man, we need a holiday or something.
yeah, we do.
Isn't that why the 4th of July, they did the 4th of July and some of these holidays, because it got to this point where people just needed a release.
Yeah, we need that. I mean, I thought 4th of July was that, or at least Christmas was that.
I think the release now is going to be like a purge. I mean, it's getting to that point where I can only see a purge helping these people.
There's a lot of movies on it,
And I'm
Purge.
kind of hoping like aliens come down so we just have something to fucking beat on with a stick and just let all that anxiety out of us.
Yeah, I made a joke about that once in a comedy joint. I said our planet's the one that aliens fly by and they lock their doors.
Yeah.
Get a little
They're
faster.
like, no, we're not going down. Those people are. You look at them. Imagine what they're gonna do to us.
Taxes. Yeah,
They're so wound up down there. It's like,
they don't like the tax structure.
yeah. Oh man, that's one of the biggest. My biggest complaint is the tax structure.
I gave up a house because of it. A house at 46 years in the family. I just said I couldn't justify paying.
It's like, why should I pay
insurance and taxes? Yeah, insurance and taxes $10,000. I just couldn't justify.
Yeah, why should I pay so
$100,000.
you people can live better? That's one thing. Is like I got my charter just the other day, and I looked at these jobs, and then there was these subcommittees. There was 200 jobs and subcommittees, and all these people that were just leeching off of society, and then they're like, okay, this will be collected on your taxes through your house taxes. And I'm thinking, why the fuck should I pay for that? We need about 3 of these jobs. We need to, I mean, if I sat there and really went like, these subcommittees are doing the mind work that you can't do because you're inept. And it was just like, me and my buddy said, we're both just going to vote this proposal down. But, man, these people really think that way, that they have a right to exist through taxing you because they're just so much better that they don't have to work.
Well, and I was just thinking about the whole religious thing and tax exemptions.
Yeah.
Can't people make the connection that these rich people that are running everything, right, or whatever you want to call them, they're the ones behind the religions because they get the tax exemptions. That helps
Right. They
increase
get
their wealth.
yeah,
So obvious,
tax,
right? You just right. That's a tax shelter for them. So they're running that, and they're getting us on all. They're getting the world on all sides because they're telling them what to believe, and they're taking their money.
They're taking your money. They're living
right.
off of
And they're telling you how to think and believe through their religious ideas.
When I think about that, man, I think about my days in the mill where that hot steel was pouring out of that, and we're grabbing pieces of that and walking over the presses, and we're banging this, and we're making plows out of those. And I'm fixing these things, and there's never a moment under 130 degrees. And I'm just drinking Gatorade and trying to get by, and I'm doing 12 hours a day. And that, and these people are sitting on some air-conditioned office somewhere and taking 30% out of my pay and living off of that. They have no fucking clue what I just went through.
Yeah.
As for usefulnesses, I'm feeding millions of people. Plows are hitting the ground, and man, people are growing stuff because of me, because of the hard work I did. And these people are doing nothing, and somehow they think they deserve a piece of my pay. If they could live 1 hour.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll still be up. I gotta go catch something to eat, but if you're not here,
What's that?
Oh no, he had to get something to eat.
You got to go get something to eat. Sugar
Yeah.
dropping off?
yeah, I haven't had food all day, man.
Okay, go get yourself something to eat. I didn't want to make this a whole big one today and keep on going for 6 hours, me ranting about how I hate people.
Yeah, no, it is crazy though. It is crazy. It's so predatory, and it's just an insult as you get older.
Yeah.
It's just an insult.
But let's bring it back around. Isn't it great that we have a MGTOW group where we just come and vent sometimes?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, for
Yes,
sure.
it
Place to
is.
heal.
For sure, man.
This is our cognitive therapy where we see all this ridiculousness out in life, and we come here and we vent it out, and we can kind of go back normal, like be better people for it.
Well, that's the thing about MGTOW too, is we live in reality because we acknowledge that we live in a predatory world.
Yeah.
We acknowledge these observable behaviors of women, how they're pretty much a-holes.
Yeah, we're not allowed to say it.
Yeah, but well, but we acknowledge these things where everyone else is looking the other way and not paying attention. They're not living in reality. That's why Vention. I mean, have you ever seen someone that's that confident when they were dying? I mean, the guy was like, he's like, F this, I'm going to make a couple videos. He had a smile on his face. He was at peace. You know what I mean?
I got to make his thoughts were, I got to make a couple more videos so maybe I have something to say to someone. It's like,
that's right.
It's like, wow.
Better download those videos too, because that's good information right there from a guy that really lived a good life.
Yeah, and he's dying, and he's probably in a lot of pain too. And MGTOW Invention is a good example of he's peaceful. He did everything he could. He did a good job. There's nothing to be ashamed of, and he knew it. And he was a good example to us. It's like when we hit this moments where we're going to be there. Eventually, I'm going to be there. I know that I'm not going to have all those regrets.
Yeah.
If there is a hell, them regrets are the hell.
Yeah, you got to work your way through it. I mean, I mean, I don't know if I was close to that. I had a heart rate of 200. I mean, it's pretty high. I guess it's pretty high when
you're 200.
When you're sitting down. I guess that's, and you haven't exercised. It's not like I was exercising and got to 200. I was just had so much pain in my leg, but like I was at peace, man. That was my time to go. I was okay with it because I felt confident in the way I was living and as a MGTOW, the belief system I had, and I was able to kind of figure out things through your help and other, all you guys, like JK, all Jeff. It's like I was able to kind of figure out things, and
we all try to help each other, and I think that's where the MGTOW group's important. Invention and all the guys, we take little pieces of their spirit and help us through our days, and that's why it's so important that we don't let people kill this thing. And they want to kill it bad, don't they?
Oh, they hate us. Sure. You're not taking care of another woman? Yeah, just something. What's wrong with you? You're not taking care of another
You're not
woman?
taking care of a woman. What's wrong with you?
Right. You don't want. Yeah, that's right.
I guess that's a good.
Well, another one is like. Oh, go ahead, sir.
I guess that's the good thought at the end of this. We have each other. We have MGTOW. We have this thing that we could utilize anytime, and it's a beautiful thing. It's like we got to keep it going. And sometimes I want to give up and just sit on my couch and watch Star Trek, But it's a good thing that we keep it going, and we try to learn from Benchins. We try to learn from Joey and Trav and RP and Black Wolf, and it gives us that cognitive therapy we need to get through this absurd world. We can't let them kill it. It's too important.
Yeah. They don't want, you can't criticize church, you can't criticize judges. It's so obvious how corrupt they are, and these lawyers, and that's why they get the reputations like that they have. They just.
Well, that's an important thought there about how they get their reputation. The lawyers got their reputation years ago by being ambulance chasers, and that's the biggest insult to a lawyer if you call them an ambulance chaser, and they self-guarded against it. But that's what they are. It's that's Joe's paradox, isn't it? Like, evil people don't want to be called evil. Bad cops don't want to be called bad cops. Thieves don't want to be called thieves. Crackheads don't want to be called crackheads. They all take offense to what they are. It's a paradox. But, what's the worst thing you can say about a MGTOW? He wants to be left alone. Oh, that's horrible. You don't want to take care of a girl.
You don't want to drink beer in a balcony.
He wants to drink beer on a balcony and stare out into the middle distance and just be happy.
He just wants to bet a couple games and just be to lock the door and watch football all day. What's wrong with
watch football all day. Yeah, that's like that's horrible things like that.
But Jesus wouldn't live that way.
Jesus wouldn't do it that way.
You go deep. What was that one thing you said? Like Jesus would say, "Go deep in it, Joe. Go deep in it."
Go deep, yeah. He's at the edge of your bed when you're hitting filthy Sally. It's like, go deep, Joe. Drive it deep. He's the cheerleader for the abnormal sexaholics.
I mean, just think about how many lives MGTOW has saved.
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job, and it's a lot. MGTOW's been fading lately, and I don't know what happened them years before, but we got to bring it back. It's worth keeping, isn't it?
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, yeah, MGTOW's worth keeping, and I think it's that a lot of people have a MGTOW spirit now, and it's always there. The thought's always there. The hesitation and the risk management is just a part of the natural. I think we've touched every male on this planet, and somewhere the risk management's in there, and it's easier to be a MGTOW now. than it was when we first started it. We get yelled at every day by, death threats. And how many years did I get death threats there? Like every day.
I don't know. You did? Did you really? I don't know.
Yeah, like you just don't want to take care of the girls, Joe. You're a bad male. You should die.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how many. I get one a day at least. I did a video on that. I should put that back up. Like every death threat I got this week.
Wow.
Because I was a MGTOW, because I just wanted to be happy.
You just want to be left alone.
I just want to be left
Come
alone.
on, don't you want to participate in this game that we got? This bait and switch. I love that term, bait and switch. That would be the title of a MGTOW book. Bait and switch.
The bait and switch. Yeah, we should do a video on the bait and switch and kind of point out all the bait and switches that they do.
There's so many. I talked to a friend.
From relationships to taxes to politics to, their theory, their philosophy on life is just a big bait and switch.
Well, I had a friend who he didn't want to get married, but his wife or his girlfriend, I don't know if I should say this, but I want to dox myself. Anyway, it was like a thing with something at her work gave him access to like freebies, right?
Yeah.
But in order to get those freebies, he had to be married to her or get a domestic partnership, get a domestic partnership. So he figures, terminology is not as intimidating, right? Well, I don't want to get married. He's been married a few times, got screwed over, and twice he got screwed over. So on the third time, he's like, well, I'll do the domestic partnership then. It's not going to screw me as bad. And then, so now he's trying to break up with her, and she's like, she's the one that convinced him to do the domestic partnership to get these freebies, right? So here's the point: is like, okay, so now let me just get my thoughts straight. So what happened was now he wants to break up with her, and she's like, well, I know my rights on the domestic partnership. Yeah, I was like, you got to be kidding me! She baited you into that, and you fell for it, and now she's claiming her rights on.
He's going to end up paying for all those freebies. Yeah, I see that a lot. I see that with a friend of mine now that he has a baby mama, and they get so much freebies that it's hard to resist that. Being, life gets a lot easier when you have that. And she's got like 2 kids, 3 kids. I can't remember how many, but life's easy, and the government's just hurling shit at her. And to attach to that it makes your life easier. But in the end, you're going to become a part of that, the payor, not the receiver. That will catch up.
And now she's got him in a vice. I told him because he's an abusive, it's an abusive physical relationship too. At this point, so it's pretty dangerous. I told him, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I told him, well, because she had some items because she lives in another place, another state. I said, you're better off just boxing her stuff and sending it back, get a restraining order. And then if she comes at you with this domestic partnership agreement, tries to come after you, then you get an attorney. I don't know. What would you say would be the right play in that situation?
Yeah, those domestic.
Because they don't live together. They don't live together. She comes around like once or twice a month.
Right. Those are tough. Rick would probably know more about that being in Canada. But man, those things are. It's going to be, if it does go to court, it's going to have a gynocentric. They're going to think gynocentrically.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's just. Oh, go ahead, Rick. You there?
What you want to do is avoid. You want to avoid the whole thing right now. You want to disappear from it, and she'll move on, get baby daddy number 4 or whatever.
Yeah, Rick, you there? RP, you there? It's not there.
Yeah, but matter of fact, if you can find someone to fuck her,
Well, no. The thing is, he lives in like a big, $2 million house or whatever, right? So, yeah.
This usually plays out with regular people, like less than middle class people. This thing plays out every day. I see it so much in my neighborhood that the baby mamas get showered with gifts and everything, and they have the polygamy, the baby daddy number 1, 2, and 3, and the government's throwing, if you get in one of those relationships with them and you hit the jackpot sort of the male, you can lay around on a couch and not have to work for a little while. But then the expectations grow, and you're the man in the house, and especially if you eventually she's going to do the baby mama thing where you're going to have a kid. That's what she's for, and that's when it gets you become the payer then.
Yeah, she's not even. She's in her. Let's just say late 60s. He's in his
late 60s. Wow.
And he's in his mid 70s.
He's in his mid 70s.
So it's not even like one of those. It's just one of those things. He just has so much codependency.
Right. He's codependent to that. Okay.
Right, and he got bait and switched on this domestic partnership thing.
Yeah.
Wow, what a mess, huh?
What a mess. Yeah. When it goes that far to someone that age. I
told him just wait until she comes at you with anything before you get an attorney. Don't like.
Right, she's abusive.
Yeah, she's punched him in the mouth, their face.
Yeah, you got to get that on tape and exit with a video.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I've had to do that in my life too. When people bring, my story. I feel like 6-7 years ago, my brother was bringing an abusive female around, and I had to exit that situation with equal intent. I had to, otherwise it wasn't going to go away. And then them are the things in your life where there's people that are just not.
Was she living with you?
Yeah, my brother brought her around, and then it became toxic, and I was like, no, I got to do something about this. This is just not the way I live. So, I had to report her for domestic violence against me.
Yeah,
I mean, a male has to do that, but that's the thing males don't do. They won't report those things. That's why the statistics look off balance.
Well, and I was telling B and JK about how women they'll get away with murder, right?
Yeah, they'll get away with murder, and they know that. And I'll say that you were the one. It's like, okay, it's like, no. And with me, it's a different story. I had to shed myself of that, and I care about my brother, but I don't care about I don't care about his relationships. I don't,
No, you can't be around that drama. I had to exit out of that situation. I was going to live with him.
But that will happen, It's like, look at Vention and his sister, there's
Joyce.
Yeah. The closest people to you, you bring these people in your life, and they're more apt to hurt you. I mean, especially with you bring a friend, and all of a sudden he brings a girlfriend around, and she is very apt to do something harmful to you if she's an abusive person. And today,
don't be that third wheel. I was just gonna say, don't be that third wheel.
Don't be that third wheel. You were getting into that situation this week.
Right. Right.
Cut that off before it happened.
Right.
I mean, there's situations 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago where I was included into that.
Yeah, it cost me about $2,000. It's going to end up costing me about $2,000 more, but that's not a ton of money in the big scheme of things. So I was looking at it from a financial standpoint.
Okay, that's a good thing to do. Is
Yeah, it just wasn't worth it for me.
Financially, what am I gonna? That's the only thing that really matters on this planet, America, and like.
But it's not a lot of money.
Where am I going to be best off at the end of this?
Right, it wasn't worth it for me to save $2,000 to live in it.
Or cut my losses. I got to cut my losses here.
And he had a beautiful house, and I had my. But even with that, even with a master bedroom and 5,000 square foot house he's living in, I still couldn't deal with their interaction.
Yeah, it's the mental abuse and the and all those little things that they do that and they don't see it as mental abuse to you.
No.
But these little things that drive you crazy every day. They're yelling, they're screaming,
Right.
they're not reasonable. And then them, if you do it to a male, it's okay, but if you did it to a female, it would be it would be gaslighting or mental abuse.
And then she started. So he ignored her. He has to he has to like almost report to her every day on the phone. Like, he doesn't call it because they live in different states. So, but she comes in once, like I said, once, twice a month or whatever,
Right.
So now if she doesn't know where he is, so this is what she did. So he took like one day where he didn't call her. She started calling me.
Yeah.
And texting me and trying to communicate. And that's when I knew I had to get out of there. I'm not going to, because that's triangulation. That's a narcissist way of trying to get triangulation.
I tell my son about that all the time, and it's like I use my kids. It's like if you don't, if you don't call your mother, then she's going to call me, and then I have to hear it. So why do that to me?
Right. You can't let yourself get in that situation where, again, you're the third wheel. That means triangulate. You're going to get like, me and my girlfriend are going out to eat. You want to go? No, the answer should be no. Just make something up. Don't go. Don't go.
You don't deserve that. That's not your burden to bear.
No, it's not. No, like I like RP's saying, it's not my problem. It's not his problem.
It's not your problem, right?
Not your problem.
I don't carry that weight. But they want you to carry that weight. That's the pain for someone else's
right.
bitch.
They want you to pay for someone's bitch. Yes. That's why. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that kind of it's not a cost thing, but it's a burden thing where you're carrying that weight, and you shouldn't have to carry that weight because that weight has cost.
Right, and that's why it's like, I had a family member that I was close age with, and he always wanted to go to strip clubs. And I just always used to say no. Don't you get the message after 35 million times? But after like 57 times, and I see the poor guy is going by himself, I would go on the 58th time. And sure enough, it was a terrible experience for me, and I didn't want to go. And then I'd go another 99 times. I'd say no. This is even before I was in MGTOW. Now I would just be so firm and say no. Absolutely
no, I'm not going to do that. No.
But what I learned is to stay away from simps at all. The simps are, and I was trying to explore. I think simps might be even more dangerous than women. I don't know if it's true, but.
We do this thing where we exclude males in MGTOW from our wrath, and I don't think that's right. They're simps, and we name them. We name them simps, and there's beggars, and there's what are all the names from? We got simps, we got beggars, we got cackling hyenas, and those are all men that don't act like us. They will get you into a bad situation. They'll make you pay, and then all of a sudden there's drama and all those things. No, we got names for them. I mean, think about those men, and a lot of MGTOWs do this thing where they're like, oh, all men are exempt. Like you're talking about men, Joe. It's like you're part of the problem. No, I'm talking about men because men do those things. Them are the blue pill men that we're talking about. That will make your life miserable.
That's right. That's right.
And it's like this isn't. We don't have no bias in here. All men are exempt, and 90. I would say not 90, 80. It's probably 76% of men out there are our enemy.
Yeah, you got to just stay away. That's why I don't fit in the corporate world anymore. I really don't. I mean,
that's where MGTOW, I think, needs to have a real growth process. Like, they don't think like we do. They don't act like we do. They will hurt you exactly the same as a woman would. There's no gender bias in here because a lot of our wrath goes towards those men for acting the way they do. Because they're immature little things that, these guys don't even make their own bed in the morning. They want mommies to take care of them for the rest of their life. That's traditionalism. They want mommies to take care of them for the rest of their lives. They want to be catered to. They want to be the special boys. No, them aren't MGTOWs. Them are the enemy.
No, those guys, you're right. We got to stay away from them.
Yeah,
that's the best bet is just stay away from them.
Yeah.
Because they'll drain your energy. They'll drain your energy.
What was that guy that what's his name? Lazarus was arguing with, and what was that little retard name?
Oh, Ryan the retard.
No, not Ryan. The
I
one that got hemmed up for the rape charges.
Oh, Alex Brown or something.
Alex Brown, yeah, he thought that way. He thought that all men were exempt. And we tried to explain to him, no, men have horrible behaviors. That's what we're trying to cure. And that's sweeping our side of the street. These feminists aren't wrong when they say men have horrible behaviors. Every time I hear that, that kind of air that all men are exempt and men don't have these behaviors that they say we have. No, we have those behaviors. They're horrible, and we need to get rid of them. That's what MGTOW's about, sweeping our own side of the street.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And I know a lot of MGTOWs hate me for that because they can't do that. They can't look at themselves and say, no, I'm not going to act like that. I'm not going to give them ammunition. And a lot of those things are just what they want. They're hedonistic. They're like, okay, I want to get laid. I want to have a relationship. I want her to serve me. Them aren't good behaviors. We have to talk about them too. I mean, we have names for them, and how it evades. If you start listening to Barbarossa and Stardust and Trav and Invention and a lot of us guys, we point out those behaviors. No, you have to sweep your own side of the street. But a lot of these guys think that we're exempt. Like they can just continue doing those things, like begging and pussy begging and being a cackling hyena, being untrustworthy. No, that's not a MGTOW.
Well, I see it a lot with married men, especially.
Right. You would point out the behavior of married men because
the jealousy. I was going to say the jealousy. The
jealousy is obvious,
Yeah, it's obvious. The jealousy they have towards MGTOW.
The hostile, it's always a fight or flight, and they're always hostile, and there's jealousy, and they're protecting their mating rituals, and their sperm guarding, and all that. No, you got to lose all that shit. I don't get jealous of women because I don't keep them around. I mean, I don't act that way anymore. That is so immature.
I mean, the bacteria alone should be.
Yeah, the bacteria alone.
What's the amount of bacteria? Was it 4 times more or 3?
It's 3 times more. They carry 3 times more bacteria, which affects your it affects the way you think. How else? Right. What else would affect it? What else would do that? It's pheromones. I mean, what is a pheromone? It's dead bacteria.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a genius to do that logic, I mean, but those guys are hooked. They want the peptides. They want the not peptides, the oxytocins. They're addicted to the oxytocins.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, and they don't see that. They think it's okay. I got several friends right now that think that's okay. That they're beggars, they're cackling hyenas, and they think that's okay because that's how they. What they think that's how men are.
The frat boy mentality.
Yeah, they're the frat boys. They think men are supposed to be that way, and when feminists tell them that you're not supposed to be that way.
That's one of the reasons why I didn't play college football. I mean, I was going to play for a small school, but I quit like 2 teams. Because there were just so many cackling hyena type guys there. They were just,
it's disgusting.
I didn't want to be around them. It's like, you guys are a bunch of fucking clowns.
Yeah, they're a bunch of clowns.
I'll just go study. I know I'm not going to make the NFL. I know I'm not going to make the NFL. I mean, if I had a half a second on my 40, I had a shot, but I wasn't fast enough. I had a skill and I had toughness and all that, but in size, but I didn't have the speed. Yeah, I didn't want to be around him. Like,
yeah, you hear the air of apologetics in their tone too. It's like, oh, that woman said that I was being aggressive. No, you were being aggressive. And there's this apologetics that they do, and it's like, what are you, fucking idiot? You're being over aggressive. You're being offensive, and you can't turn that shit off. And then you're blaming it on her, and all she said is like, stop it, and that's wrong. No, feminists are right in a lot of things they say about us. Don't give them that ammunition. That's what I say. Be a man above reproach.
Right.
If someone would say that about me, Joe, you'd laugh. Someone say, oh, Trav's a rapist. You'd be like, really? That's the funniest thing I heard this week.
Oh, I know. It's a terrible thing. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way you should be. When someone looks at you, they would go, him? No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, but a lot of these new MGTOWs, they think it's okay to, all those behaviors are okay. No, those behaviors aren't okay. Simping and begging and the validation and the cackling hyenas, the cat whistles. No, none of that's okay. We are men that have honor. And honor is important.
Oh, yeah. That's all you have. I mean.
Yeah, that's all you really have.
Those are the people that are kicking and screaming when they're dying. The ones
right. That's all you really have. Your dignity at the end.
Right. Your integrity.
Your integrity, and those things matter. And if you have that, you can go out very peacefully. But if you're unsure about all these things that you've done in life, well, of course you're going to go out kicking and screaming, trying to justify everything you've done. I see people do that all the day. They're addicted to, drugs. They're addicted to females. They're addicted to sex. They're alcoholics. They're just, it's everything. It's everything with them. And then they wonder why their life's not going well. Now do a fucking introspection. Ask yourself what you are. And
that's the best thing I ever did. I mean, the last drink I had was 2000.
The best thing I ever did in my life is come to terms with horrible characteristics and say, I'm not going to do that no more.
Right.
It's like, best thing that ever happened to me. And it made me the person I am. And I think I'm a pretty good person. I'm a real nice person to be around.
Yeah, me too. I thought about that today. I was like, I kind of wish, I think my parents knew anyway. My brother, they're gone, but they knew the kind of person I was. But I wish that they were still around just to see the kind of person I became. Even better, even a better person. Like now that I'm MGTOW, especially.
Yeah, you're a MGTOW.
I became even a better person.
You're safe to be around. You consider your community. You consider everybody. You consider people around you. And, it's like, you're totally safe. I wish every person can get that idea. I'm totally safe to be around. There is not going to be no violence. There's not going to be I'm just, I'm not going to go down the drama road. I'm not going to be overexcited about things. And MGTOW gave me all that stuff and it was free. Yeah.
And then you're gonna really, like you said, the risk management's really big. Like, a simple idea like that. People think, oh, what's the big deal? I'm going out with my friend and his girlfriend. But you're putting yourself you put yourself in a bad position.
Yeah, if you know the people and they're not going to act that way. But you have to do that research. You have to do that research. Are these good people I'm going out with?
Yeah.
Or are they going to get in a fight and then they're going to drag me into it?
Yeah. Embarrass you or whatever.
Are they going to embarrass me? Am I going to be walking home tonight?
Well, that's what happened with me with poker. I used to love playing poker because I loved that. I grew up with it. I started playing when I was, 10 10th grade. What's that? 16, 15. And I used to always win. And so it was kind of, lucrative thing for me. So I was like, but the people that play poker these days are just batshit crazy, man. And I don't want to be around them. And I've changed as the person. Why?
Yeah, they're
So they're predatory. They cheat. There's cheating going on in some of the bigger games.
Cheating. They're predatory. They see there's monetary gains.
Right. They're very. Yeah, I didn't realize this kind of stuff. I just thought a bunch of guys get together and play, and some people win.
Changes around you. Well, you used to have an honor-based society in poker, and there was a bit of honor in there where you had.
Whenever you see a big winner in poker, I guarantee it's almost 9 out of 10 of them are cheating in some way.
Yeah, now it's like I learned that lesson a long time ago. Like, it used to be honor, and all of a sudden it turned to like people are playing with other people, and they're
right.
It's like, okay, the odds are stacked against me now. I can't win.
Right, the odds are stacked against you. Exactly right. Because not only you have to beat the cheaters, but you have to beat the rake.
You have to beat the middleman.
They have to beat the middleman. It's really hard. It's really
hard
to win.
And then, it's like no use being in this game because I used to have a 14% chance. Now I got a fucking 2% chance.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with the stock market. Same thing with the stock market.
Yeah, the same thing with the stock market. Everybody's predatory.
Right, they think they're going to put all this money in the stock market and get rich, but they don't understand that there's an information pyramid.
Right.
And if you're not, and most of us,
if you're not
at the top of the pyramid, you're not going to make any money. The money funnels to the top in the stock market.
The money funnels to the top. Yeah,
funnels to the top. Yeah. So that's pretty much a scam, and just like the 401k is a scam too, because they're taking your money. They're holding your money for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And unless you have a lot of cash, I wouldn't do the 401k. You have to have a cash position in case you have a emergency.
Right. You have to have it's better to invest in small caps now with companies that like are investing that money into steel and stuff and making product.
Yeah, those tangible assets are always better investments.
Yeah,
safer. I should say better, but they're safer.
Yeah, they're safer, and if you can trust this
companies, companies with tangible assets are always like Caterpillar, companies like that.
Right. If they're going to take that money, invest it into pay their employees and make a profit, then you're good. But you can't always get that anymore. There's a lot of deception. Yeah.
The Caterpillar is 196.
Yeah.
Well, they're down 12% in the last 6 months. But the last year they're up 35%.
They're taking
up 5 years. They're up 11%. It's the thing is.
They're taking a break right now.
But companies like that, they have the assets. So even if
especially after the July break, the month break in July is going to reflect these next 2 months.
Yeah, a Caterpillar. Started.
But you can reinvest now when they get into the winter processes.
But they're so manipulated. It's people. The middleman is the one that screws you. It's like
the middleman screw you.
Right, because like religion,
who's gonna? Yeah, you're a broker. What are these companies? He's the one doing the research. You got to do the research for yourself. Go find out. Go Google the company. Find out where they are. Try to talk to somebody somewhere that knows, and then make your decision.
It's like, and they do the same thing with marriage. Like the middleman is the church, and
the middleman's the government, and all he wants is have a couple babies and then pay.
They're bait and switch. It's a complex thing, but you gotta kind of understand that what's going on.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. They don't analyze. You got to analyze stuff, man. You got to analyze stuff.
Right. Use your mind, and don't
have a. I think it's probably good to have a fake ID in case you need to get away.
What's that?
Have a fake ID to get away.
Yeah. Well, you really have the fake ID and have a car that goes 200 miles away.
I was telling my buddy about 200 miles in a fake ID. I go. My friend Joe was telling me this is how you deal with women. You just get 200 miles in a fake ID.
Yeah, put your wallet in the glove compartment, lock that son of a bitch, and then take that fake ID and shove that in your pocket.
Well, yeah, not in the glove compartment. I like the trunk. Put it in the trunk underneath the tire.
Yeah, to put all your credit cards.
Well, that's what they look. That's the first place these thieves look, huh? Is the glove compartment or the middle console, and they want to go in and out, and so you never leave valuable stuff in those places.
Yeah, no, I'll leave it.
Like my rifle, I have a rifle. I have to keep in my trunk of my back car, just in case somebody wants to get stupid, you know.
Yeah,
I hope I never have to use it, but hey, it's pretty easy to get to if I need to.
Yeah, if you're dating strippers, make sure you got a fake ID and some fake credit cards, and that won't work. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think about this 12 midnight, and I think I'm about done.
Yeah. Yeah, it's midnight. Yeah, it's good to talk to you again. And last state, what's the closing statement would be? I was just going to talk about benching it real quick. Yeah, I just think kind of the courage that he had. If you can get a chance to watch those videos.
Yeah, we want to honor our friend and make sure his memory is positive and go give a positive comment and remember him. At least remember him for what he tried to do here. He was helping out with the MGTOW cause, and a little bit is that little bit that drop in the bucket that becomes a river. You know, he was one of those drops, and don't forget that.
Yeah. He had a video I saw. It was like about insomnia.
Yeah.
Easy cure for insomnia. So I want to watch it next.
Okay. Yeah. You can learn something, or you can disregard it, and
just see what he has to say. He's a smart
see what he has to say about it, and
yeah,
it's always going to turn out that he just wants to be there for you, and I think that was important.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's a great guy. Anyway, what's your closing thought? That's
about it there. That's the same thing. I was just thinking we got a lot of guys here that just want to be in the club, and we want to just be MGTOWs, be there for the next guy, and make this sort of a big cognitive therapy where we do have a place in this world, and it's here, and we can go and get good advice and vent sometimes. I get mad sometimes, and but this place called MGTOW is worth preserving, and it's worth doing, and it's worth these guys being around. And no matter who you are and what your thing is around here, that's what makes it. It's the drop that becomes a river, and then we have this beautiful place, and otherwise we wouldn't have it, and that would be a world that sucked. And that's all I want to say. Thanks for coming around, Brissy Boy, and Hetty's in now, and Jigsaw, and Hot Ice, and most of the regular guys, Good a Ghost, and MGTOW Cowboy, and this new guy named Indian Joe.
Yeah, Indian Joe. Who's that? Yeah, I never heard of him.
And Black Wolf was in for a while, and thanks for coming around. It's all you guys that make up the MGTOW thing. And Vengeance did it, and I do it, and we all do it, and we do it for purpose because, otherwise there wouldn't be no place where we can go. And that's it. Thanks a lot. Thanks. That's all I want to do is say I'm thankful for this place.
Yeah.
And with that, RP seems to be asleep at the wheel.
Any closing comments, RP, from the balcony in Detroit? He lives in Detroit.
Is it Detroit?
No, I don't know. Just kidding. He still lives in Canada. Okay. He's on some balcony sipping some beer, but
yeah, he's probably just sipping a beer, dozing off, and living his life the way he wants to do it, and being happy. That's all you can do is be happy. Try to be happy and figure something out that makes you happy. I like to ride my bike. I don't know what you do. Figure that out.
I'll say real quick that RP said that he wants you to start your streams all with all your Simpsons are forgiven. I don't know if you said that yet. All your Simpsons
almost. Yeah, I forgot to do that. All your Simpsons are forgiven. Go on with your life, and Happy MGTOW. And that's it.
And vote,
That's it.
and vote for Juliette Lewis if
Yeah, Juliette
you're on
Lewis,
the ballot.
beautiful girl in the world. And
Yeah.
besides, what's that one from Sex and the City? Sarah Jessica Parker.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, the second most beautiful girl in the world.
Yeah. That's
Jeez.
right.
Ooh. That's like dating a dude.
Oh man, she is ugly, isn't she? They're both ugly.
Yeah.
Brutally ugly. And it's just funny how the media tries to portray them as like these attractive,
They're beautiful, attractive girls. I know that's like dating a dude.
Yeah. Very, very ugly.
Yeah, if you see Gabby Petito out there running around, stay away from her.
Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about that next time again.
Yeah, there's a lot of simp whore mentality there. That if you get a simp and a whore together, that's what that happens. We should talk about that. He was a simp and she was a whore, and she was mentally unbalanced, and that was never going to work out.
Yeah, he didn't practice risk management, that's for sure. Now he's on the run, right? He's on the land.
Now he's on the run, and yeah, we can go deep into that thing. It's like, whew, there's so much there that it's just weird.
I don't see how he can get that far. I mean, he obviously needs to have a car. I mean, where can he go? He can probably, you got to have some money, some funds.
Right, yeah, there was YouTube money, and there was expectations of fame and influencers, and there's just a lot there.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, all right.
Okay.
I'll tell you later. Thanks for stopping by. Go ahead. Yeah, I'll let you finish it out.
Yeah, I want to thank each and every one of the guys, Bristy Boy, Jigsaw, MGTOW, Powboy, Hetty. Thanks for stopping by, and most of all, thanks for being MGTOW.